There. No. Okay, good. All right, so we're live. All right, so everybody, welcome to week 3 of the Community Pauper Challenge. I'd like, before we start, even to give a big shout out to Deluxicov for making this sweet graphic that looks well, considerably better than what Zane made, but we still love Zane anyway. So big shout out to Deluxicov. If you want to follow his Twitch channel, it is down below in the followers panel, I believe. Is it not there? Well, if it's not there, I'll just change that now. Mike, what is his thing again? Propaganda, is that what it is?
Yeah, propaganda.
All right. So I'm going to change that in a minute. So, one announcement for tonight before we start off is Jenstikov is not going to be here. Unfortunately, his computer it broke, so to speak. But he has ordered the new parts that he needs. He will be here next week. So the thing that we worked out with Jenstikov is he is conceding tonight to Kung Fu Trees, which is going to bring Kung Fu Trees to 2-1 now, I believe, correct? Yes, that is correct. Good one. All right, so for anybody who doesn't know what the results have been up until now, I believe Math Guy is... What is Math Guy? Is he 2-0 right now? Yeah, Math Guy is 2-0. So Math Guy is 2-0. Mikey Ruru is 2-0. I know that. Shane is somehow 1-1. I don't know how that happened. Genstikov is now 0-3, I believe, unfortunately. Ulu Guru is also 1-1 coming into tonight. Kung Fu Trees is 2-1 now. And 420 Dragon is now 1-1 as well. Littlefield is, I believe, also 1-1? Or is he... Oh, no, he's 0-2, correct? So Littlefield is 0-2. Pauper MTG is 1-1 for right now. We'll have those updated as the night goes on. Yes, and we will have a graphic for next week. Is everything okay? I see the chat going off. Okay. So, tonight we're going to be starting off with Mr. Ruru and Kung Fu Trees to commentate ML Lovebow against Pauper MTG. If you guys want to check out their deck list yourselves, you can go to the Weebly website, which is below the stream. So that should be fun. Of course, I always want to say big shout-outs to everybody who is competing. If you would like to follow any of their stuff, please do so in the Follow Us channel. Of course, as always, big shout-outs to Zane for being the production guy. All right, so I think everybody's heard me enough. I'll let you guys take care of it. So Mike and Kung Fu, have fun. I will be here if you need me.
All right, awesome. So it looks like they're just getting their match set up right now. So I don't really even know who's playing first. I'm commentating a couple matches. So we've got Lovebow and Pauper MTG, correct?
Right. So
yeah, that sounds right.
So Lovebow on Scrounger Fog, and Pauper MTG on Mono Green Tron. Unfortunately for Pauper MTG, I think he's missing like the key card to beating Fog, which is he's somehow missing Ulamog's Crushers.
Yeah, interestingly, the Denovatron deck was playing some Crushers. Math Guy's list was playing Crushers, and that's not really necessarily typical for the Denovatron deck, but it was obviously awesome against the Scrounger Fog deck, and today, the Pauper MTG guys don't have that. They instead have this weird, what are they called? The Changeling package. So it's got this weird Changeling package instead. So we'll see how that works out for them. My guess would be it's a lot worse.
I think so too. But it's kind of interesting. They have 4 self-assemblers and then 4 Aurochs Herd.
Yep.
And they have 2 extra game trail changelings. So basically, they never run out of gas, I guess, once they have Tron. But that doesn't do anything against Fogs. So
I'm not really sure that was really a problem beforehand. Like, was casting 4 of these guys in a row plus getting your draw step really not enough that you needed these extra 4/4s? I'm not really sure, but we'll find out today which deck comes out on top. But my prediction is this Fog deck is going to run over. Well, not literally run them over, but definitely going to win.
Yeah, I think unless Unlovelo like mulls very low and kind of just can't really do anything until like turn 7, it's gonna be hard for Pauper MTG to pull this off.
Right. They're not the fastest deck. I think maybe they don't even have they don't even have Rolling Thunder or anything. So fastest that they can probably put together a win is turn 6, maybe. I'm not even sure they can probably win by then. But yeah, they can't really cast anything till turn 3, and then they're just casting. I don't know. They could cast. I guess they could cast 7 power on turn 3. So that's about the best they could do. Or yeah, that's the best they can possibly do.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we are ready to start the match. So we'll see what we've got here. Got a pretty good hand for Mlobo here. Got 3 mana sources, but no green. It doesn't really matter though. Preordained should help him find some green mana.
Yeah. Also a pretty good hand for Pauper MTG. He has a guaranteed turn 4 Tron with colored mana. Might be even better.
Yeah, it is, but I suspect that's going to be a little too slow against Mlobo's deck. I think really they need to have a turn 3 Maul Splicer, otherwise it's going to be pretty rough sailing.
Right. I would guess. I mean, I would guess this match was probably at least game 1. I think Level probably wins like close to 90%.
Yeah, that would be my estimate as well. Really, any deck has about 10 to 15% chance of just completely failing, and I'm not even sure that it's that high, but just completely falling over itself, and then the other deck just runs it over. But man, it's got to spend a lot of time stumbling.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I think if Pauper MTG had 4 Ulamog's Crusher, that actually just flips it to like he might even be favored.
Oh, I would definitely favored. There's only are these Arcane Denials the only? Are these the only counter spells in the deck?
He has 1 counter. So he has 5. He has 5 hard counters.
5 hard counters.
Stop 4 Ulamogs, and yeah, that's not even going to work because I mean, Tron will just bring him back with like the whatever the card that brings cards out of graveyards.
Yeah, actually, they don't have. Doesn't look like they have any of that stuff. They don't have pulses or any of the lands that bring stuff back either. So it looks like Mlobo found green mana, so I think he's gonna be okay. My guess would be he's gonna put both of those on top. For sure, the pieces. I know that he loves card advantage, so there's no way he's bottoming that pieces of the puzzle. I think you probably keep the fog too, but that might not be necessary. Might be looking for lands or ramp instead.
Yeah, I think once you get to high enough mana, you can just kind of chain through your deck really quickly. So I think just getting mana and card draw probably will end up equaling more fogs.
I agree, and definitely needs to hit a few more land drops. You really want to get to, I don't know, probably 7 mana in this deck. You don't really want to miss any before then, but you can miss 1 as long as you hit the next couple, but that's not always the easiest thing to pull off. So Pauper MTG's developing their board nicely. They're gonna have Tron right away. It looks like they just kind of drew all the Tron pieces they needed.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. Like they're gonna be putting out 4 power on turn 3 and another 4 power on turn 4, which leads to about a turn 6 kill. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if that's good enough. I really don't think it will. It looks like he left both on top. I didn't quite see in the game log if that was for sure what they did, but looks like, or if that's for sure what Mlobo did, but it looks like that's what he did. Kept the fog and the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, my experience with Blue Green Tron, the version with a lot of ramp and flickering logs. Looks like he
sounds like he bottomed one of them and then he got Moto shufflered into the other one, so that's pretty classic. I always joke about that on my YouTube videos. Like whenever I cast Ponder, I always make sure that the top card is the one I want to draw the most, just in case when I shuffle it, it doesn't really shuffle. And it happens more than you'd think. So
yeah, I feel like that happens way too often too. And I guess maybe it's just some sort of bias, but hard to say.
It could be. In the past, it's been bugged, so I'm not sure if it's bugged right now, but it has definitely been bugged in the past. All right, so Pauper MTG on the top there, got their RX herd down. Going to be attacking for 4 this turn, and then 9 next turn, or 10 next turn? Yeah, 10 next turn. So got him on a reasonably fast clock. Mlobo is probably looking for some more ramp spells. He hasn't found any yet, and that's really what he wants at this point in the game, since he doesn't want to be fogging every turn. He really doesn't want to necessarily use his pieces of the puzzle. He's going to have to discard, but I think he's okay with that. He's got some extra lands probably that he wouldn't mind discarding.
Do you crack map on upkeep?
Probably. I don't think you want to draw another Tron land. We'll see if they see that. Looks like they didn't, but
It might be
Ancient Stirrings isn't too bad.
Yeah.
So
Yes, my experience playing with the blue-green Tron, like the version with Flicker and a bunch of just try to chain fogs, is that I think the aggro deck really needs kind of like a turn 4 kill, and even then that's not frequently good enough. Even if they have the turn 4 kill, I frequently have a fog on turn 4 to stop that, and then from that point, they basically can't win. So, assuming like this MLBO's fogless kind of works similarly, I think you really need a really fast clock to basically be able to beat it. And I don't think that the green Tron kind of has that fast of a clock.
yeah, what you really need to be able to do is when they tap out for Kodama's Reach, you need to at least, if you can't produce lethal that turn, which is not always possible, especially if you're on the draw, because that's turn 3, you really need to be producing lethal the next turn. Otherwise, you're just too far behind. And you can see it here. He's going to be able to rampant growth here. He doesn't even have to respect anything. Like, he doesn't have to respect these fogs.
I think he should Arcane Denial his own rampant growth. Oh, or maybe he rampant grows. Okay.
No, I bet he Arcane Denials his own like Moments piece or something later in the game.
Okay.
He's gonna have so many. We'll see exactly what happens with that Arcane Denial. That is true though. Their rampant growth might have been better off getting Arcane Denial next turn.
Yeah, it's not like he needs. I mean, Enlovo knows Pauper MTG's deck list, so there's nothing for him to worry about. He just needs to start fogging every turn from, I guess, next turn onwards.
Right. He might not have to every turn if he gets them with Tangle. He might not be able to produce enough threats on the turn that he tangles to produce lethal the next turn. For example, a self-assembler plus an RX herd is not enough. We'll see if they play around Tangle. Hopefully they do. Make for a little more interesting game.
Right.
Instead of just a massacre. But I don't know. I kind of expected a massacre, so it is what it is.
Man, if only Pauper MTG had Ulamog's Crushers. That just flips the matchup by itself.
Yeah, it's a really big deal if Mlobo has to hold up Arcane Denial every turn for the rest of this game. It's just so huge. And then suddenly one turn they might be able to cast 2 of them, and then
Yeah.
Then where is he? He's dead.
Yeah. So what do you think about Fog in the current metagame?
Oh, Fog's good in every metagame. It's bad. I guess it has been bad in the past. Delver isn't as big as it used to be, so we've got Stompy and Affinity more commonly played in leagues than Delver right now. And
Yeah,
Fog is
so much.
Fog is just heinously bad against Delver. So it makes sense for Fog to be good right now. It's so good against Stompy. So I think Fog is a really good place to be at this point. It looks like he found this Moments piece, and that's a lot of turns.
Yep.
Is this one getting Arcane Denialed? Yeah. That's what I figured would happen eventually. It was sooner than I expected, though. All right, so I'm expecting a Tangle this turn if they attack with everything. If they don't, probably the Flashback Moments piece. It's hard to say, though. I'll have to discard unless he casts a card from his hand, I think.
Right.
No, not quite. Never mind. He'll just be to 8 cards, so he can do whatever.
What would you estimate are the matchup percentages of Fog against the various decks?
This fog list,
But yeah, fog in general,
it's
but also yeah, this deck list.
yeah. So this is definitely the Turbo Fog deck that I have the most experience with. I haven't played it a ton, but I would say against Affinity, it's really close. Probably 50-50. You always have to hold up a counterspell for Fling. Normally, game one is pretty easy, especially a lot of these decks are playing more Team or Battle Rages, which are obviously horrible. And so you always have to hold up the counterspell. It gets a lot tougher post board. And actually, what I end up running into a lot of the times is that it's really tough to not time out because I have to hold up like 5 or 6 mana every turn for the whole game because I need to hold up like double Hydroblast plus like another counter just in case they've got Fling, double Pyroblast. You really need to have a lot of counter spells up. Against Stompy, it's so easy to beat Stompy with this deck. It's probably 80-20. They can sometimes kill you turn 4, but they can barely do that. So,
Yeah,
what about the other decks? Delver, it's like terrible. So you just always lose Delver.
I don't think I can lose to. It's probably like an 80-20 or like a even better against fog. But yeah, I actually don't like the switch to Team or Battle Rage for Affinity because like I think even against like blue black control decks, having to, the turn that you need to kind of like have the ATOG live, I think it's a big deal. Whereas if you had just Fling, that's just like that's an instant speed kill. So
Yeah.
I see a list that have like 3 Team or Battle Rages instead of like 0 Flings, and I don't know. I really like Fling in Affinity.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't feel like normally the games I lose to Affinity are games where like I could have blocked and Fling wouldn't have killed me. Like normally Fling is for like 20 damage, so it doesn't feel like I really want that Team or Battle Rage. So looking at this match, we've got Umlobo drawing all kinds of cards. He stayed at enough life total that he can play this. He can flashback at least one Deep Analysis. He's got a bunch of fogs. Pulse Marasa means that he actually doesn't have to fog this turn. He can go up to 12. And they're only Pauper MTG is only attacking for 8. So this is what I was talking about, that Tangle. Tangle is basically going to be like a double fog here, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Right, so I expect that's what he's going to do, just to get that extra value. That's what I would do. Yeah, looks like that's the case.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, Umlobo is not close to running out of fogs, but still could be safe, I think.
Right. You have to be a little careful if he casts what's it called? If he casts pieces of the puzzle, he has to make sure that he takes his pulse if he mills his Scrounger, but it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty easy to play around that.
Right. I've watched Umlobo's streams, and I'm pretty sure that he'll make sure to do that. I think he thinks like 50 steps ahead. I can't when I watch him play.
So, yeah, it's actually not quite as hard necessarily when you play these kinds of decks, because or at least when I play them, I just think about which cards matter, and so few cards matter in the whole game that like you're always really tuned in to the ones that matter. So like you're looking at your opponent's creatures and you're like, none of these matter, don't care about any of this stuff. And then you're thinking about your own deck and you're like, I've got a Scrounger and a Pulse that matter, and none of my other cards really matter either. And it's especially true with Teachings, but it's true with this deck too, where almost none of the cards matter. You got to make sure that you protect the ones that do. So looks like we're going to see some discarding here from Umlobo. He's going to have like 9 cards in hand or some ridiculous number.
Yep.
I would say this deck probably discards more than any other deck I've ever played. You discard on turns 2 and 3 and 4 just all the time because you're just drawing so many extra cards.
Yeah, I think fogs are really cool in that they're kind of one just blanks. Like for example, one fog from Umlobo is blanking all 8 of Pauper MTG's creatures, I guess for one turn. But
right.
There's just like I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like a weird type of card advantage where you're just like, for example, against Stompy or against Pauper MTG, you're just like playing. You don't have to. You can let them have however many creatures they want, But as long as you have one card, they're just like all of it is blank.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a bunch of time walks because none of their cards matter at all anyway. So it doesn't matter that they're taking extra. It doesn't matter that they're taking extra turns themselves. Like none of their cards matter. All that matters is that you still have enough time walks to keep time walking every turn.
Yeah, it looks like Pauper MTG drew his own moment's piece.
See, Pauper MTG drew their own time walk, but it's a lot worse. So,
what do you think about Mono Greentron? Or I guess kind of like the green red, like the one splashing for Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, I don't like this mono Greentron that Pauper MTG is playing just because I would really want to see at least Rolling Thunder out of here. Rolling Thunder is just, you always have to respect it, and especially since we have known deck lists, and Mlubbo doesn't have to respect Rolling Thunder at all, and it would be a lot harder for him to win this game if he had to hold up an Arcane Denial every turn for the whole game. But since he doesn't, it's not a big deal. But I don't think that the mono Greentron decks are as good as any of the blue-based ones. I mean, just playing a fatty every turn is just not that impressive compared to like teachings for Forbidden Alchemy, and then get like 7 creatures all in one turn or in 2 turns. Like you can fill up your whole hand with a Muldrifter into a Teachings, and suddenly you've got 5 cards from 0. And this deck just can't do that.
Is the matchup that lopsided? Like what would you say is like a green red Tron versus Teachings percentage?
I don't. It's so hard for me to say because I know that I beat Tron decks all the time with Teachings, but I also know that a lot of the people who are playing the Teachings or the Tron decks are making a lot of misplays. So if someone knew the matchup really well, I would say that Tron is pretty significantly favored. Not this mono green version. This mono green version is definitely not. It's not crazy. It's probably like 60-40, or maybe between 60-40 and 70-30 would be my estimate for like a rug or Dinrovatron versus a Teachings deck. This green deck is, I would say, the Teachings has the advantage against these green decks because you just like exclude one of their creatures and then suddenly they don't have any more, or like you can just Chainer's Edict all these guys away. It's not a big deal.
You're not worried about like them, pulsing and then using their land to get back more of the creatures?
Well, I mean, they get there eventually, but you can Crypt Incursion them, you can Bojuka Bog them, you can just, I don't know, like, you can exclude one, and then you're up a card, and then you exclude another one, you're up another card, and then maybe they get it back, and maybe you counter, like, it's tough. The ones that play Crusher are definitely a better matchup, because you can just let Crusher resolve. Same with Dinrova Horror. Dinrova Horror is not important to counter most of the time, unless it's really early. It's got to be really early for it to matter. Like if they cast it on turn 3 or 4 and they hit one of your Aqueducts, then you're in bad shape. But if they wait a little longer, then you can just let it resolve and you can Edict it away, and it's fine. I don't know. It's a tough matchup. It's close. It's really pilot dependent. Like I've had a lot of players counter spells that are not important, so it's hard to say for me.
Yeah, Teachings is a strange deck to play with and play against.
Yeah, for sure. I have almost no experience playing against it. I have a ton of experience playing with it, of course, but playing against it, no one else plays it really. I don't see it very much.
I think in the back of my mind, I have like very little respect for it, so I always get so angry when I do lose to it. I just always feel like Teachings needs a lot of things to go right for wait, what just happened? Oh, Pauper.
Nothing. They're just spewing off their moment's piece.
Yeah, I just think that I don't know, like frequently Teachings. I mean, this is probably not true, but I just in the back of my mind, I just always think that Teachings needs a lot of things to go right in order to win, and so I'm just tilted off whenever they do win.
Well, you play a lot of decks that are good against Teachings, so they do need a lot to go right. Like Delver is kind of the worst matchup for Teachings, which is why Teachings has trouble in most metagames, because Delver is almost always one of the most popular decks. And you also play Tron, so Tron is pretty good against teachings as well. So you do need a lot to go right to beat those types of decks, but like I've been beating Affinity a lot lately, which I think used to be a really bad matchup. But like any of the mid-range stuff, Teachings just has such a good matchup against those decks like Kuldotha Boros, and I don't know, any deck with black in it, it's like terrible against Teachings. So when those decks are popular, Teachings is just one of the best decks you can bring.
It looks like Mlobo probably, we can say he has the game locked up at this point.
I agree. He had it locked up a lot of turns ago, but it wasn't technically locked up until this very second. Like he could have accidentally discarded his Scrounger or something.
Right.
We are at the point though where he's just gonna be able to fog every turn, and since he doesn't have to worry about anything, sometimes when you're playing this deck, you have to be really careful to make sure that you don't make sure that you have enough counter spells and stuff in your hand at all times so that you can counter anything they do. But Unlebo knows that he doesn't have to counter anything, so he can just, with Scrounger, put 3 fogs back, draw 3 fogs, put 3 fogs back, draw 3 fogs. So this game's over.
Right. He's probably going to get his, like, Mind Sculpt at some point. I mean, I'm sure he piles that allow him to kill quicker.
He could do that. It's not really necessary, but it is more efficient as far as like viewers are concerned. So hopefully it gives us that.
Do you think Mlobo had his viewers in mind when we decided to play this fog deck?
Well, he never used to have Mind Sculpt in it, so he's got to be thinking a little bit about all the people watching.
You know, he goes up to 4 post board, so that's
Yeah, and that got him a win against the other Tron deck. He just milled them out too fast, even with their crushers. Didn't matter. Yep. I think it was Math Guy, right? Math Guy's crushers just didn't matter for one game because Mlobo drew every mill card in his deck, but it didn't work in the third game, so that crusher just got there in the end.
Yeah, crushers are so good against fog.
Yeah, they are, and that's really the only thing you have to worry about most of the time when you play Mlobo's list. You have to worry about crusher and you have to worry about Bojuka Bog, which most of the Dinarova horror lists are playing Bojuka Bog. So that's a pretty brutal one. It's so hard to beat. You can maybe beat it early in the game, but like if they had a Bojuka Bog right now, it'd be incredibly difficult to beat. Actually, I think you could still beat it because he's got enough cards left in his library, but you have to be pretty careful to make sure that you don't get too low.
Just curious, I can't tell. Is the Changeling being pumped by the Oriox herd?
I think just the Aurochs herds are pumping themselves would be my guess. All right, so Mlobo is the champion of this game. So that makes sense. He was about to draw the last cards of his deck, and he was guaranteed to have enough fogs to win. So Pauper MTG has had enough.
Yeah, so post board, Pauper MTG has, I guess, he has a hope, I guess, which is that if you can get Relic of Progenitus into play early enough, and I don't know, maybe Mlobo sides out Tomb Scours and Mind Sculpts, maybe Pauper MTG can win.
Yeah, so this deck actually, in the past, actually couldn't beat a turn 1 Relic, and right now it doesn't look like Mlobo has anything that can beat it either. So if they go like turn 1 Relic, especially if they go turn 2 Relic afterwards, you can probably concede right there. So the reason is that even if that Mind Sculpt is safe kind of the whole time, the Scrounger loop needs to happen. And once Mlobo gets down to a couple cards left in his library, they can just nuke the whole graveyard and they won't have enough cards to get to 7 anymore, because Scrounger only works if you have thresholds. You need 7 cards in your graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing you have to worry about. That's why Bojuka Bog is so strong against them, because you need to get 7 cards in your graveyard, and sometimes you can't even do it. Like, if you have too many lands in the bottom and they nuke your graveyard with 10 cards left, if you just can't get 7 cards into your graveyard, you can't do it. So that's pretty brutal sometimes.
I think maybe then what do you think about like siding out all the counters just for all the mill and just try to race?
So I think that was his plan for Tron decks, but at the same time, that was his plan for Ulamog's Crusher Tron decks. So I don't know if that's going to be his plan. Even if they don't, man, if they don't have, the only cards that matter are Relic. So honestly, if I were them, I would mulligan into Relic, and I would not, even though this hand has turn 3 Tron, I would probably not keep this hand because they can't even cast the Aurochs Herd, right?
It doesn't even have turn 3
Oh,
Tron.
never mind. They only have 2 Tron pieces. Yeah, I don't like this at all.
But they already took a mulligan, so maybe just a functional hand is okay.
I guess so. Well,
Maybe
we'll see.
You think Mlobo will hold up Counterspell throughout the entire game? Maybe there's like a turn which he takes a turn off and Pauper MTG can sneak.
I think he won't hold it up for any of the early turns because if they had it, they should have played it already. Like they should have played the Relic instead of this map on turn 1, and they should play it right here on turn 2 as well if they have it. So I think he's going to make the gamble that they're not going to draw them in the next like 1 or 2 draws, and he's going to get this Kadama's Reach out, and then after that, I think Arcane Denial will probably be held up for the whole game.
Actually, Pauper MTG has a pretty good start now because he can go Tower, Crop Rotation, into Prism, into Aurochs Herd for a turn 3 Aurochs Herd.
Aren't they 1 mana short of that or not? Yeah, they only have 5 mana after playing the Prism.
How much does Herd cost?
Aurochs Herd costs 6.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's pretty brutal. It's 6 mana 4/4 is not a very good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the regular Tron decks don't play these cards. Another Aurochs Herd is also just a terrible draw, of course, because they're already going to get those Aurochs Herds for free.
Right. I think most, basically except for Relics.
Yeah, almost all their draws are terrible anyway, so. So if they hit a Relic off this Prophetic Prism, they'll be in really good shape. They'll have 1 more draw to draw 1 after that when this Kadama's Reach gets played next turn. Oh, they drew. This is probably actually the best card to draw. Another Self-Assembler to get a clock on.
Yep.
And then next turn, they really want to draw the Relic. So that was number 1 card, best possible draw. Number 2 card will be a Relic right here.
Yeah, and Umlobo doesn't have a Fog yet. Not that he needs it immediately, but like Pauper MTG could be beating down pretty hard pretty soon.
Yeah, that's true. He'll have like 5 looks at his first Fog, but he'll need to get 2 or 3 more. So, he's gonna have to get like 10 more. He's gonna have to get a lot more in a row. But I think he'll get there with the Fogs probably before they can finish him off. And that wasn't a Relic, so
it's a changeling. It also looked like Mlobo sided in his mill package.
Yeah, at least some of it. But he also didn't board out the Arcane Denial, so I wonder what he got rid of to get that Tome Scour into the deck.
So he could cut. There's 2 dispels that he can definitely cut. He probably cuts Counterspell. It's actually really funny that Arcane Denial is actually kind of better than Counterspell in this deck because usually like Arcane Denial seems like a card with like a huge amount of downside, but Mlobo uses it to draw cards so aggressively that I think it might actually be better. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I agree, and it's easier to cast. Like you can cast it off a bounce land, which is really important, and drawing yourself 1 card and your opponent 2 cards is just basically better since Pauper MTG only has 2 cards in the whole deck that matter. So he's not going to counter anything besides a Relic. So unless that 1 extra card, unless they draw another Relic off those card draws, it just doesn't really matter. So Tome Scour, so he doesn't have to discard. Did he hit a Relic? Doesn't look like it.
I think he just Tome Scoured to save on mana. He didn't have to discard there.
Oh, I guess I miscounted. So, just to get that out of his hand. That's also decent, that's good knowledge to know whether or not they have a Relic, how many Relics they've left in their deck. So he already knows that, if he had hit one of them, he would know they only have 1 left, and those are the only cards that really matter anymore.
Right. Well, assuming Mlobo can keep on hitting Fogs, which at this point, he looks fairly certain to do that.
Right. but it also doesn't matter what Pauper MTG draws anymore. Like it matters a little bit what Mlobo draws, but Pauper MTG draws don't really matter anymore. So you think he's going to Arcane Denial and Arcane Denial here on his preordain? Yeah, it kind of looks. Oh no, he's not.
I think Arcane Denial should just be saved for like to draw threes. I wouldn't waste an Arcane Denial for as a target for Arcane Denial.
Sure. I would have almost saved that Tome Scour since he didn't have to discard before, just so he could Arcane Denial it later.
Oh yeah, that's a good play. I think he should. Well, he might. Well,
looks like he's not doing it this turn.
Yeah, this Tome Scour is probably gonna let Arcane Denial draw 3.
Okay.
Oh, let's just do it on AK.
That's not a bad play because the Arcane Denial only, or not the Arcane Denial, the Accumulated Knowledge only draws 1 card right there, so that's a pretty decent play. I might have done it to the Tome Scour, but that's still a nice play.
Right.
And obviously the Tome Scour Arcane Denial line is still available next turn if he really wants it.
It's also kind of nice that the card draw happens at the opponent's turn, so he doesn't have to discard.
Right. Puts him to 8 cards, then he gets to Fog here.
Oh, he said. I wonder how much mill he's boarded in. I mean,
I don't know, but
we've seen 2 Tomb Scouts and 1 Mind Sculpt already.
Yeah, so if we've seen everything he's boarded in, it would just be for the Dispels, but my guess is that that seems unlikely. He's probably boarded in a little more. I wonder if he took out like the Deep Analysis. It's a little slow. I know he loves that card though, so I'd be a little surprised if he took that out.
I also love Deep Analysis. I think it's like the best card. It's I think a lot of people sideboard Pyroblast to try to beat Control. I think they should just side in Deep Analysis. That card's like way better against Control than Pyroblast, I think.
Yeah. I always wonder, like, burn decks will bring in Pyroblast against Teachings, which if they've got it, they should. But honestly, it's basically just another burn spell most of the time. Like, yeah, it's countering a counter spell that's countering a burn spell. So it might as well be a burn spell. Yeah. Just not that impressive most of the time.
And it's also kind of reactive. So, many times against decks that have inevitability with burn, you just want to clock them. If your hand is just clogged with Pyroblasts, that's like you're giving your opponent turns to draw to draw extra counter spells and stuff like that. So yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily even like Pyroblasts and burn.
Right.
It's good against Delver, which is I think having the ability to counter spell stutters, but also to use it as removal against Delvers and Ninjas. I think that's really big. That's like where I really like Pyroblasts. But otherwise, I like things like Deep Analysis against Control decks a lot more.
So does Mlobo have a Moment's Peace in the graveyard? Because if he doesn't, this game is over.
Oh, wow, really?
He bricked on Fogs. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, God. I thought this game was over.
Nope. Well, it is over, but the other way.
That was... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just went off on a huge tangent because I just assumed that...
You just assumed he would keep finding Fogs, but he missed one that turn, and that was it. I wonder if he boarded out some Fogs for...
Oh, that can't be right.
For those mill spells.
Yeah, I feel like that cannot possibly be right.
I don't really know. I know I personally would not board out anything besides the Dispels for the mill spells, and I might not even board out the Dispels, because hitting a crop rotation with the Dispels is a huge game. So... looks like they're going to get a turn 1 Relic down, and we'll see. This is actually going to be a really cool game to see how Mlobo navigates around this Relic. It is very hard to beat Relic with this deck, but at the same time, with his mill package, he can still beat it because he can actually, they can still run out of cards before him, even though he's drawing extras.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tight race, I think, on both sides. And Mlobo's going to be pressured on 2 different axes. He's going to need Fogs, but he's also going to need cards to try to race.
Yep.
I think it's okay to lead with Star here, but I mean, I would have led with Relic for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The Star is just not that important. Like, you can crop rotation away your forest next turn if you really want the green mana. It's probably not going to matter too much just because he's not going to be able to counter it for a couple turns anyway. But at the same time, you know, it'd be nice to get all these cards out of his graveyard. Like, they could have taken both those cards out now, but if they play the Relic this turn, they can't anymore.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes for them. So they've got that really bad shapeshifter in their hand that is going to be really hard to cast because it's not going to be easy for them to get double green. But they got a long time to do it because they can just cast these self-assemblers, which are just basically strictly better versions. So they played the land first. I think I might have cracked the star first.
Well, he needs
it shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, he needs to sack a land for a crop rotation anyways, so
yeah,
it's not.
I don't think it'll matter anyway, but that's just what I would rather do. So what do you play here? Do you play the Relic and the Star, or a Relic and a Sphere? I think that would be my play.
Yeah, I definitely should try to... Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm playing the Relic for sure.
Relic for sure, yes.
Yeah, I don't mind this play either. Like, crop rotate for another Tron piece, and then hopefully they play the Relic plus a Sphere here.
Yeah. I hope they don't crack Relic, because that's...
to draw a card? Get closer to that third land?
Yeah, that would be kind of tragic.
Yeah, that would be just a horrible play.
But maybe Lobo cited out a bunch of fogs. I mean, I still don't see one.
Right.
I mean, he hasn't drawn a lot, but...
Yep, and these AKs are... We're about to see why I like Think Twice over AK in Teachings decks. It probably won't matter here to Lobo. Like, he's not going to care. Like, he's not going to care about them removing one card every turn. But when I play Teachings, if I play like a Think Twice and they kill it with their Relic, I get really annoyed.
Yeah, I also like Think Twice in Angler Delver for the same reasons. Also, it takes up less space. Like with AK, you kind of want... Ooh, nice. All right, Pauper MTG's hand is looking pretty good. He's going to be able to land a Maul Splicer.
Right, and this is kind of the play that I was talking about in the pregame, where they can get 7 power out on turn 3. They can actually race this deck.
Yeah, plus the Relic applying pressure. This is looking pretty good for Pauper MTG. Wow, a real game. To be honest, I wasn't super optimistic about that, but this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for him, Lovebo. Like, he's gonna have to play both AKs this turn probably, just to make sure that he gets the second card off of the second one.
Right, his hand isn't great.
Now, his hand is terrible. It's terrible so far. And another land isn't great either. But it could turn around really quickly. Like, this Deep Analysis is an awesome draw. And if he draws like a Moment's Peace or something, it's going to be in pretty good shape. He won't be in great shape. Like, he's still on a pretty serious clock from this Relic, but he's not in the worst spot ever.
And you might not be able to flashback Deep Analysis because Pauper MTG is going to be putting Mlobo to 1 in 2 turns.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Actually, so another great draw.
Yeah, I thought it was a tower for a second, which would have been a like he'd been dead next turn.
Right, because he could have put 8 more power on the board this turn.
Yeah.
Instead, it's only 4 more. So we're gonna see 7 and then 11. So he's gonna go to 2. Right? Is that my count? Yeah, that looks right. So still not gonna be able to flashback this Deep Analysis, but he's gonna get to play this Sphere. Do you crack the Sphere right away?
I think I would for 1 turn. Like what could he even play with the green?
If you hit like an Ancient Stirrings into a Relic or hit a Relic, it's so good to play it right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it does make it really hard to cast your Changeling. I guess they decided not to play it at all, which I don't think is right, but it probably won't really matter. My guess would be that that's not going to matter over the course of this game. Like, spending 1 more mana next turn is probably not going to matter too much, but still.
And Lobo's... Oh, okay. Right. He still has 1 more turn. Right, I was really worried for him there.
Yeah, he's not dead. So it looks like he found a fog and an AK. It's probably what he's going to take. I can't imagine taking anything different out of that pile.
Yep. So at some point, it might. I mean, no. Like I was gonna say, knowing Mlobo's hand, it might be correct to crack Relic in response to AK. But I mean, Pauper MTG can't possibly know that Mlobo's
It's just all blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be expecting at least one or two. I'd probably expect a card draw spell and a fog, like two, like in addition to what he has. So like I would expect at least two fogs, plus probably another card draw spell, or at least a counter spell of some kind, like some kind of spell that matters.
Right.
Of course, he has 5 lands in hand, and he discarded a land that turn, I think.
Yeah. Pauper MTG drew the tower one turn too late. That would have probably won him the game.
Yeah, almost for sure. I mean, forcing Mlobo to hold up fog this turn would have been, well, it could even have drawn a fog this turn. He drew that off of the pieces, right? So
yeah, he would have needed to flash back deep analysis, and I don't know if fog. It doesn't look like fog was one of the top two. So
yeah, you never know how MTGO orders stuff. It just puts stuff randomly. Like when you play Thought Scour, the Thought Scour goes into your graveyard between the 2 cards that you put in there. Like it's just obviously the wrong order. So still got this Relic working away. We'll see if they know enough that, like, so let's see if Mlobo is able to chain a bunch of fogs together, if they are willing to save this Relic the whole time. So you should basically never crack this Relic against this deck normally.
You didn't crack it.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. You should just basically never do it. Simply because if you ever crack it, they can continue to play the game. Whereas if you leave it, their scroungers are eventually going to run out of stuff. And they don't only have so many cards in their deck. And if you exile a card every turn for 20 turns, they're eventually going to die.
Yeah. So it looks like Mlobo has found a few fogs at this point.
Yeah, he's got a couple.
And he's
I'm not really sure if they're going to. Yeah, I wonder if they'll try to hit this Moments piece that's in his graveyard.
Yeah, that probably. If he didn't hit the Arcane, so the Accumulated Knowledge, I don't think he would hit the Moments piece.
Yeah, I doubt that Pauper MTG will pop it just for a Moments piece either. So things are looking better for Mlobo. He's got 3 fogs ready to go. Got another ramp spell. He's gonna have a lot of mana. What he really needs to find is probably like a Pulse of Marasa to turn on his. I don't know if he wants it, but it would turn on his Deep Analysis. So I don't know if that might prompt a Relic crack. I'm not really sure.
Oh, do you think Mlobo might have cited out Pulses plus Scrounger?
That could be. And it looks like they found another Relic, and Mlobo didn't hold up blue mana this turn. So they know it's going to hit.
Yeah, this is still looking like a very, very close game.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow, and maybe, that actually sounds like a pretty sweet Cypher plan.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. So probably should play the Moments piece here and then hope that it works next turn. Yeah, then you're not totally dead to relics if you have all these mill cards in your deck. The problem is, though, that you have to take them off of your pieces of the puzzle. Like if you hit a card draw spell and a fog, and then you hit a mill spell, which is what happened on one of his previous pieces of the puzzle. If you mill too many of your mill spells, you're not going to be able to kill somebody at all. Like they'll have too many more cards than you. Against Tron, it's probably not that big of a deal. They take a lot of cards out of their deck, but against some other decks, that can be a real issue.
Looks like Pauper MTG cracked one of his relics. Which
to get rid of that Moments piece.
Yeah, and now Mlobo's hand is really bad. If he misses one more turn, he's dead.
Yeah, I might have waited to see if I don't know. That's a tough one. So you risk Mlobo drawing an accumulated knowledge, but if you wait, you can I don't know, maybe snag a pulse or something.
Right. Either way, it's probably correct to crack it on end of Mlobo's
at the end of Mlobo's turn. Yeah, either on their own turn or before this or like during this end step.
Right.
I agree. I think that was a good time to crack it. Especially with this mill plan. I don't know. It's so iffy. Like it's so much worse against the Scrounger plan, but it's way better against this mill plan. Maybe they've got the
Yeah.
read. They've got the better read on the sideboard plan than we did until like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of I mean, this match probably didn't turn out that well, but I think because like if Mlobo knows that there's going to be a lot of graveyard hate brought in, like basically cutting out like the Scrounger is not going to be useful. So cutting that out, and then once you cut that out, you don't actually need the counter spells as much to protect, your one key card, and so you just board in a bunch of redundant mill spells, and then you only need like 20 turns to win.
Sure. This is the best possible draw from Lobo, the pieces of the puzzle, right off the top.
Yep.
See what he finds. Probably wants to find a fog and a draw spell. Looks like he drew only an AK.
One accumulate knowledge. Ooh. He is.
We got one more turn. One more draw, I mean.
Yep.
And he draws the Moments piece. Wow.
Wow.
Just when I think this game is over. Of course, I thought it was over last game, but then the other person won.
Yeah.
I honestly can't believe that this is going to be a match won by Mono Green Tron. Like, this matchup is so bad for them.
Yeah. I was gonna be guessing this matchup was like, at least 80-20 in Fog's favor, but maybe maybe Pauper G got really lucky, or maybe the matchup isn't actually that bad.
I think they got really lucky last game, and then this game played out how I might have expected it to when they have a turn one relic. But the real issue is like you don't always draw a turn one relic in multiple games, so like main board really advantage towards Turbo Fog, and then sideboard you expect to lose one game to a relic, but hopefully you don't lose 2 games to a relic. And Lobo didn't lose 2 games to a relic, but he did lose 1 game when they didn't have a relic, which is really unacceptable basically for the deck.
Yes. Yeah, maybe maybe this Fog is still not quite a real deck.
It's not quite tier 1.
Not quite.
No, I don't think so. Even when I've played it, like I think I've played it maybe 10 leagues total over the last, I don't know, year or two, which isn't a ton, but I would have expected to probably get at least 150 out of 10 leagues, and I've never gotten a 50 with this list. I've gotten a lot of 4-1s, but never a 50. So I don't know.
If Pauper MTG pulls the trigger, he wins.
Yep, we'll see if they do it. It's so risky.
Yeah, it's hard to not do that though.
It's so risky. I know that I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't either. But then again, if you have a read that level boarded out his Scroungers, then Relic, he's gonna do it.
And he's got the concede button ready. Man.
Wow.
I wonder what Mlebo's next card was, because I would have never made that play there.
I would never made that play either.
They had the soul read.
Wow, it was a fog. That's insane.
It was a fog.
Yeah.
Well, he needed more than a fog. He needed like a bunch of them in a row, but still, that's crazy.
Wow. Congrats to Pauper MTG. That's
for sure. I think are they 2-1 now? Did they win their?
Yeah, I think they beat Affinity.
They beat Affinity, right? Despite having no Finger Marauders main. I know that I beat them last week. So for the quick humble brag, so they're 2-1.
Wow, doing well. Man, this Mono Green Tron really showed up.
It did for sure. 2-1 is a quite respectable record. That's the same record that your deck has.
Yeah, Red Delver, my also tier. For how good it is, I think it's like still in the leagues and also the challenges. Even though it's pretty well represented in the challenges, but I still.
Yeah, it did a lot worse this time. Like the people that played it, I don't know if they didn't play it very well or what, but it didn't have a very good. Even though it won like it didn't have a particularly good record overall, like
I think
between all the copies.
Well, there's only 2 copies in the top 32. So
Yeah, but there were a number of them I think that placed worse than that.
okay,
So-
yeah, it's hard to tell without going through the replays.
Right. So you do get replays if you play in it. So like people have done some scrubbing of it. I haven't really looked at it that closely though. I don't play the challenges, unfortunately. Fortunately, I can't play them. So
Oh, you should. I think yeah, that's unfortunate because like I would love to see you bring like 100 card teachings in.
a couple extra cards. Bring a couple extra cards along. I think someone played a 70 or 80 card teaching deck and they made top 32 or top 16 like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But,
I think 103 card Grixis teachings was their
yeah.
list.
Yeah, that's a sweet one.
I was close to pulling the trigger, but I'm just not a teachings player. I don't have the patience to do that. So
yeah, you don't have the patience to Evan Carr's Justice out someone who's gained 30 or 40 life throughout the game.
yeah, that's not my type of game.
That's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, so you should definitely keep it a challenge if you can. I think.
For sure. So I think this round it's going to be Umlovo and I are commentating, and then who are we commentating for? Let's see. We've got Luru Guru and Math Guy. So Luru Guru I think is on Affinity, and Math Guy was playing. Was Math Guy on the Tron deck, or is Math Guy also on Affinity?
No, he's on the Tron deck. He's on
the Tron deck, the Dinovatron. Okay. So
I want to ask you guys before you go on. What do you guys think about the mono green deck that Pauper MTG brought? I mean, I know you guys expressed you don't like they don't have the crushers, but what do you think about their particular design of the deck?
I think it's cute. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of. I mean, the thing is like, I think even with the Aurochs sword and stuff like that, they could still counter it, and then you still can't fetch like the remaining copies, and then it's also a bit small for how much mana you're paying for it.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought as well. Like, the mono green decks are normally really good against Affinity, and this deck doesn't play main deck Fangor Marauder, so they're not that good against Affinity. They don't have a ton of life gain main deck. They have no way to recur anything from the graveyard, despite being a monocolored deck. And it doesn't have Rolling Thunder, which is like, if you know, like if your opponent doesn't know that you don't have Rolling Thunder, it can still be fine. Like they have to hold up the counter magic the whole game for it. But if in this, where we get deck lists, when your opponent knows that you don't have Rolling Thunder, it really gives them a ton of freedom to just tap out against you, and they don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I really like Rolling Thunder. I think it's like a one-sided Armageddon or like a win condition, and it's very reliable. I in the Blue Green Tron list, I definitely like Rolling Thunder over Denrova Horror.
Right.
So, yeah. So I guess you only need one win condition. Anyway.
Would you ever take the mono green deck into a Pauper challenge? Would you ever do it?
No.
I had to ask. I thought it'd be funny.
I'll play. I mean, I do like Tron, so I'll play Tron in the challenges.
Just not that version of Tron.
Yeah, not quite.
Fair enough.
I don't think it's that bad. I think the changelings are maybe unnecessary. Like I'd rather have at least one crusher in there. I would probably replace both of them with one crusher and one Rolling Thunder. And then I actually think the list is not that bad. And then I would try to get at least one copy of what's it called? Haunted Fengraf. I try to get at least one of, like, when you have 4 copies of Crop Rotation and 4 copies of Expedition Map, and you don't have any lands in your deck that can get a spell, that I just hate that. And a lot of people do that, and that just drives me crazy. Like, I want at least one Haunted Fengraf that I can get, or something, anything that gets me a spell. Like, even a Bajuka Bog, like, is almost a spell.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Versions of Rugtron have made top 8, so the deck is definitely pretty good.
Zane, can you reshare your screen, please?
Of course, last season I lost to Mono Green Tron as well. Shane cast.
Oh yeah, he
like a crusher, like 7 or 8 turns in a row.
Thank you, Zane. And he never let you live that down too. To be
It was
fair,
like a counter to crusher, and then I killed a Crusher, and then I countered a Crusher, and then I killed a Crusher, and then I died to a Crusher. So it was really
if anybody would like to see that match, they can, I believe, on the YouTube
Is
page.
that on the
or
YouTube page?
Possibly in the pod. Yeah, I believe it is.
And
All right, so before we go into the next match, I would also like to add that Shane is not here this week, as most of you may notice. You don't hear him. He is out of town, so our own Iceman is going to be filling in for him. That will be against Littlefield, and then Ice is going to commentate with me for the last match, which I believe is 420 Dragon against Mike. Is that right? That's what the last match is. Okay,
that's the match.
All right, so well, I believe that we're trying to get the next match underway, which is going to be Lobo and Mike commentating that. Kung Fu, you always do a great job, man. I got to have you on commentary more. I see you enjoy it.
Awesome. Happy to do it.
I believe now, so Kung Fu is 2-1, because as I said, Jen had to concede. So Jen is the only 0-3 in the tournament so far. And I believe that unfortunately brings ML Lobo to 1-2, but that brings Pauper MTG to 2-1. I believe Pauper MTG losing to Mike last week, right? If I'm correct about that. So, okay. So we're just going to have them wait up because Mike is taking a break for a little bit. So Lobo, if you want to talk about that match, if you want to express any feelings, you can go right ahead.
Hey, I'm Lobo here. That
wait.
Hey, Lobo, can I ask what your sideboard plan was?
What the fuck did I draw there?
Those are bad draws.
Yeah,
one fuck in 25 cards.
That was
Can
pretty
I ask
bad.
what your sideboard plan was?
Oh yeah, I can tell you. 1 second. Where did I put it? Hold on, it is there in. I bought it in all 7 mill spells. My game plan post sideboard against graveyard hits is just to mill them. He can't do anything if I just fuck and mill. Basically, he just dies to it.
I see, and you probably take out. Do you take out the pulses and the scroungers?
Yes, and the dispels, and the counter spell, and the singleton plane.
Oh, cool! That's a really cool strategy. Yeah, sorry it didn't work out. Man, your draws were so bad. We had you at like 80% to win, but like it was unbelievable how poorly you drew.
80% is conservative.
Oh, you think it's higher?
Yeah, at least 90.
Yeah, I don't think any of us. No offense to Pauper MTG guys. I don't think any of us thought you were going to lose that in a million years.
Game 2, I had 1 fuck in 25 cards. Game 3, I drew all lands in my deck.
Wow, you drew every land in your deck? Wow.
Yeah,
yes.
Lands, yeah. My gosh. Well, I guess sometimes luck is just a break. Not much you can do about it. Okay, so Mike is taking a quick bathroom break. That's why we're kind of holding up for a sec. He's apparently taking a little bit longer than I thought he would. But is there anything anybody would like
Don't
to
worry, I'm
plug?
back.
Oh, he's back. All right, so before we get into it, before we let you go, Kung Fu, is there anything you'd like to plug? Anybody you'd like to advertise, or anything that you'd like to advertise of yourself before you get going?
I think I'm good. I assume everyone knows about like the Pauper Reddit, Pauper Discord, things like that.
They should, but you can tell them about it if you'd like.
I don't have much to say. It's a bunch of there's the Pauper Reddit. There's also a Pauper Discord. A lot of good players hang out there. So if you're interested in Pauper, you should definitely check it out.
All right, very cool. Very cool.
So I'll probably log out now. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Kung Fu, thank you so very much. So Mike and Lobo, you guys are ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, Zane, just let them know when they're good to go, and I'll be here if you need me.
Can I advertise for the really, really good Magic Online Shuffler?
Go for it.
Yes, you may.
Man. All right. Tron versus Affinity.
Yeah, so I think this matchup really comes down a lot of times to how fast can Tron get down a big fatty, and what they have in their sideboard. So this first game should definitely be a little bit advantaged for the Affinity deck, but looks like it's kind of a slow draw for Affinity this time. We're going to see a turn 2 2/2 and then a turn 3 4/4 at this pace, and that's not particularly impressive at all.
This should be good enough.
You think it'll be good enough?
Yeah. Oh, there's a condescend. That changes a lot.
Yeah, it really does. So now it's going to be a turn 2 2/2 into a turn 3. Your opponent scries. So goes with the Flare Husk first, then going to probably run out this Mirror Enforcer. Okay, we're going to see an attack first. Doesn't really matter either way. And then Mirror Enforcer is going to come down and get condescended. We'll see how quickly. This is going to be really a big. It's going to really hinge a lot on if Math Guy can find Tron soon. His hand is really good if he finds Tron in the next 2-3 turns. It's really bad if he takes much longer than that.
So he is considering to play around counterspells.
Yeah, it is tough.
I don't think he can just play around it. He just can't give the opponent enough time.
Sometimes I like playing around counterspells out of Tron on turn 3. Whoa.
Oh, it didn't get countered. Okay.
That seems wrong.
What is going on?
Well,
That's special.
all I know is I don't agree with that play. So
Yeah, me too.
the 4/4 is such a faster clock than these 3 that
Exactly.
I would have definitely countered it. Sometimes I like to hold back on my threats on turn 3 against Tron, because a lot of times if they don't have Forbidden Alchemy, they can't really cast anything. But on turn 4 is when I like to cast this stuff, because they're hoping to play Teachings or something that turn, and then I can force them to either spend their counter or cast their Teachings. But I'm a little surprised not to see a condescend on either of these turns.
Yeah. Moment's Peace, no surprise there. His plan is to Moment's Peace the entire game from now on.
Pretty much, he does have
But
to fog every
I
turn
don't-
for the rest of the game at this point, and I'm just not sure he's
Yes.
going to have enough fogs.
Yeah, I don't think he has either. But I also think it's just a little too aggressive to rely on that plans that much.
Right, like, he's still got this Condescend in hand now, and what's he even going to counter with it?
He's saving it for a fling.
I mean, maybe, but, like, he couldn't even... I guess he could counter a fling this turn since there's no ATOG, so there's no way to actually get a lethal fling this turn, but still.
2 parts of the Tron.
All right, it's getting closer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can flashback Teachings for peace next turn, so there's a lot of turns
It is,
where he
but
gets to live. A lot of turns to find it.
it's true. This draw from Uluguru, though, means that if he doesn't... If he doesn't have a counter up for Galvanic Blast, one more will kill him. One more Galvanic Blast or a Fling. So I think he fires it off here, since it can't be countered by Condescend. I think he waits.
He
He's
might as
waiting.
well wait.
Could do it now.
It can
I
still
don't
be
think it
countered by
matters.
Prohibit. Now he has to fire it.
All right,
He
he's
should
got
still
double
play
counter
around
spells now.
Prohibit. What? He didn't play it? They are playing weird.
So,
So Teachings, fuck.
yep, Teachings for Moment's Peace. Be tapped out. For some reason, he's doing it. Oh, he's just hoping to draw one with the Muldrifter. Might have considered.
What the fuck?
Oh, just top deck the Fog. No big deal.
What? What? I don't care about this. I just played.
So I actually thought it wasn't necessarily that bad of a play to evoke the Muldrifter, but just because Pulse of Marasa back the Muldrifter was enough to survive, and there's nothing else in the graveyard to pulse back. Obviously, this is gonna go great for him since he found his Fog. Although, how many Moments Peace are in this deck? Well, there's a full 4. Jeez. Okay, so you still got some more to find.
I still think it was dumb block.
Yeah, I definitely not a huge fan of that play. But sometimes better than lucky than good. So we're gonna see probably
another Fog
here, and then a Fog.
Uluruguru didn't play the Galvanic Blast once again.
Nope. So the reason I liked playing it at some of these points was just because he doesn't have another red source. So if he draws the other Galvanic Blast or the other flings, I think how many flings does he have? Does he have 2 flings? He just got a couple outs that won't work unless he resolves this Galvanic Blast. He's got 2 flings. All right, so
what is Math Guy doing now?
He had that teachings in his graveyard that he didn't have to spend.
What can he find that makes him? Oh, he had a prism.
All right, this is a good time to Galvanic Blast. So we're gonna see if he draws a burn spell here. It's over. He's got a lot of draws to do it, kind of. The Thoughtcast first. Didn't find it yet. Another Prism. Nope. No burn spells. So we're going to see this game probably get out of reach for Uluruguru right here. He's going to cast his Perilous Research, or at least he should. And then if he finds exactly Galvanic Blast, yeah, he has to find Galvanic Blast now. The flings aren't an out anymore.
Exactly.
So we're gonna say Math Guy should have attacked with Muldrifter last turn because you can't block with it profitably anyway.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
matter if your opponent is on 5 or 37 at this point.
Well, it's just tight play, you know? You got a Perilous Research and a miss. Got a lot of stuff he can play for free, but that might be the last turn that Math Guy is tapped too low to condescend something. Especially with double tower in play, that's a lot of mana. But we'll see. Uluruguru actually has a lot of mana himself, so Condescend is not going to be super easy. It's going to cost, 6 mana, which is everything that Math Guy has this turn, and he has to spend some mana fogging. So Math Guy's deck, he's got full 4 Thornwood Falls. So he can crop rotate for 1 more life. I don't. Yeah, that will matter.
6/5.
So that'll matter against Galvanic Blast, but it won't matter against Fling if Uluruguru plays tight and moves the Flare Husk over to the Mirror Enforcer. It's probably something you should do this turn. Now that Math Guy moved up to 4, that's a pretty, I don't know, niche play. But we'll see if he figures it out. He drew the Fling. Let's see if he does it. He's got to move that Flare Husk over to... Yeah, if he moves the Flare Husk over, he might be able to do it next turn through Condescend. Okay, didn't move it. We'll see how low... we'll see how low Math Guy gets this turn. It's going to be really tough through that Prohibit now, though.
Yeah, exactly. Also, the pulse is gonna give him too much life. There's no way he can get through all this.
Well, the pulse doesn't gain any life right now, does it? Or is there a land
There's
now?
lands in both graveyards.
Oh yeah, I forgot Uluguru sacrificed one.
Math
Oh
guy
yeah,
also
and the crop
sacrificed
rotation.
to-
The crop
to
rotation
the-
sacrificed some too. Yeah, you're right.
Also, here I have another crop rotation, so he can just sacrifice a new one.
Yeah, he's got a couple options here. Looks like he's pulsing back one of his lands. This will probably prompt a fling from Uluguru. And he's condescending his own Pulse Marasa for 0. Sure.
Scry.
Man, imagine if this Condescend had hit one of those Mirror Enforcers like tons of turns ago.
Exactly. That would have given him 2 or 3 more turns.
Yep. So you can just prohibit this. Looks like he's not going to take that crop rotation line. Although I think it probably would have been best to sacrifice the island to get a Thornwood Falls. All right. So Pulse of Marasa resolves. We've got how many? Do we have any moments pieces left from the graveyard? Or is that all of them? Are they gone now?
I think they are gone now.
All right. So let's see what Uluguru does here and what this Mnemonic Wall gets back. It's getting back a Ghostly Flicker, of course. That makes sense. And this game is almost wrapped up. It's not quite wrapped up. Like a Thoughtcast into an ATOG plus a Fling, definitely. Well, that wouldn't work, but it's possible that Math Guy bricks on Fogs for long enough that Uluguru can get through. I'm not really sure.
I don't think that is realistic.
Well, obviously it's
Anyway.
not realistic. I'm just looking for possible. So you got
Alright.
Thoughtcast here. Do you counter Thoughtcast if you're Math Guy? Probably not, right?
No, I don't. I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I rarely do, although we're in a spot right now where like only the perfect draws from Uluguru can win, and those draws all involve Thoughtcast. So
Yeah,
maybe
probably, but
you want to counter it, but probably not.
Math guy doesn't have enough mana to counter it.
Yeah, so the mechanics of the game are preventing him from making a fatal error. Got Thoughtcast here. Is he just dead to... No, he's not just dead to a Galvanic Blast, is he? He can Ghostly Flicker his wall and get back Prohibit, so he can still counter a 2-drop.
Exactly.
Or a 1-drop. Yeah, that would have been ridiculous if he tapped too low to counter a Galvanic Blast and Uluguru just found one. See how risky he gets, yeah. Math Guy doesn't want to get that risky. And I don't blame him. So we're going to see these Muldrifters crash in probably again. Mnemonic Wall, get back, Pulse or
Pulse.
Prohibit?
Pulse. He needs the life.
Yeah, looks like it is the Pulse. So he has no more lands in his graveyard, right? Just Uluguru does. But he can crop rotate something into his own graveyard.
It is quite aggressive to attack here.
So might have been, might be important that he would have had lethal this turn if he had attacked for 2 earlier. Like next turn would have been lethal, but he didn't attack that turn with the Muldrifter.
I didn't see the game coming this way, but Math Guy could just block everything if he went defensive way here. Instead of attacking each turn, he could just sacrifice the Muldrifters.
Yeah, and that would be a nice little bit of card advantage as well. So, gonna gain a little life here and draw some cards. Looks like I don't know what phase we're in because we can't see it on our overlay, but I assume this is before blocks. So, probably gonna block with this Muldrifter.
Declare take a step right now. So
I assume we're gonna see this Muldrifter block. Is he gonna block with both Muldrifters?
He has to flicker a wall and Muldrifter take a pulse, take 6, 8.
So he's dead to a Galvanic Blast again.
Yeah.
I feel like there was definitely a way the Math Guy could have navigated this game so that he wasn't dead to Galvanic Blast at any point.
Exactly. He was way too aggressive with those Muldrifters.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where he went wrong, but he probably should have blocked with those at some point and then pulsed them back.
Exactly.
Even just trading with Frogmites, like that's a lot of damage those Frogmites are dealing at this point. So he can barely block them all. Like he can only block one Frogmite this turn, and all three could have probably been dead by now.
Now he's finding a moment's peace.
So he's going to teachings for moment's peace here. Yeah, so finding a teachings probably is going to wrap this up for him. Yeah, because that'll do it, because these mnemonic wells can blink that every turn. Is there anything Uluguru can do? I mean, if he had Atog plus Fling in his hand already, he would win this turn, but he has neither. So, just going to play a Prism and, I don't know, hope to find an Atog and cast it right now. If he can cast the Atog this turn, yeah, it's not going to do it. So Math Guy has another Flicker, right? Has he only played one? Does he only play one in his whole deck? He's got 2 in his deck, and he's only played 1, I think. So it looks like that. It looks like he should be able to teachings for another Flicker. Uluguru scooped. All right, makes sense. So we're going to sideboarding, and a lot of times this matchup comes down to what Tron has in the sideboard. And normally Affinity, I would expect to take game 1, but that's not what happened here. Got enough fogs. Uluguru never drew an Atog for his 2 flings that he drew. Cards that matter, we've got kind of a lot actually that matter. So Gorilla Shaman, obviously the all-star. We've got Hydroblast, Ancient Grudge, Circle of Protection Red are all pretty good. Fangor Marauder. Just a lot of stuff.
He plays Gorilla Shaman. But
he's got 2 of them.
He can't play them before turn 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, it's probably just something to like completely lock up the game. Maybe you fog early and then you fog on turn 4 and then you Gorilla Shaman turn 5 and blow up all their lands or something.
That just seems way too slow.
Yeah, I agree. Like the games that you are going to lose, you're still going to lose. Like the games where Affinity gets a great draw, you're still going to lose. So he's got kind of a lot of stuff though. Anyways, like the Ancient Grudge, like I said, the Hydroblast. I don't know if you play Circle of Protection Red against Affinity when you have a couple Hydroblasts and you've got fogs.
You want to.
I probably would as well.
Want to.
I always bring it in when I have it, so I assume that's what he's doing.
Counterspell for the fling, and you kind of need a counterspell for the fling.
The big question is, what do you take out? So he's got the Finger Marauder that's automatically coming in, the Gorilla Shaman, and the Ancient Grudge. That's 4 for sure coming in. And then he's got 4 more that are very good against the red cards. And that's
He has
8
to
cards.
take all out
Are
all
you-
turtles. The excludes the walls, the crusher.
Yeah, I would take out the
That must be the
Crusher,
game plan.
exclude, remove soul, maybe prohibit. I just hate counterspells against
Exactly.
Affinity.
They must also go. But there's what? 7, 8, 9,
Yeah,
10.
Seagate
cards
Oracle
inside
seems
board.
pretty bad. Fierce Empath, pretty bad. All right, looks like we're heading back to the match. So I didn't really get a good chance to look at Uluguru's sideboard, but I'll take a look at it for all of us. He's got a Flaring Pain, which is going to be really important in this matchup, and 4 Pyroblast. I don't think maybe a Dispel. Dispel's probably coming in too. Okay. Don't know if you guys can see that, but he brought in Gorilla Shaman, Hydroblast. I don't know. It's gone now. You guys can probably see it better than we can. We're on this like smaller Skype screen, and you guys
Math Guy
probably have
kept
your
in
full
counter.
screen. So looks like Math Guy kept in Condescend, which is not a card that I like against Affinity. I almost always board out cards like that.
Exactly, me too. It just
Sweet.
doesn't do enough.
We got double ATOG here. Do you run out an ATOG or do you run out? Interesting. Frogmite.
I had the ATOG. And
Yeah, I didn't even have Frogmite on my radar.
Wellspring.
I would have played either ATOG or Ichor Wellspring.
You know something that we don't.
Maybe. He's going to get in for 2 this turn, whereas I would have only gotten in for 1.
No, you would have gone in for 3 with attack because you would play the Wellspring and sacked it.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely would have done that. I'm pretty sure I would have wanted to at least be able to draw a card on this turn if I didn't draw one last turn with the Wellspring. I think I would have probably gone ATOG last turn, Wellspring this turn. It's easy to say in hindsight, like that looks like it's pretty obviously the best play at this point since he missed his land drop.
It would still be the best play because if he had the land drop, then Frogmite would be free.
So let's see if this Springleaf Drum gets countered. I probably don't counter the Springleaf Drum. Looks like we've got Shane in the house. Thought Shane was going to be gone the whole time.
He taps the attack. Oh, that one?
Yeah, that makes sense. The Frogmite's getting in for 2, and the
I would have
only getting in for 1.
And swung for 3. It's quite important to start finding lands.
All right, so we're going to see teachings here, probably for the Ancient Grudge would be my guess, and he's going to pop both these lands. If he, crop rotation, interesting. Well, all's well that ends well.
He's actually screen source. That's interesting. Oh, he has a prism.
Yeah, he's got a prism, so he can play the prism. He'll have teachings up. I don't know. I probably would have teachings for an Ancient Grudge and knocked out one of the mana sources personally. But that's why I don't play. That's why I don't play teaching, or that's why I don't play Tron. Like, maybe that's a misplay.
Yeah, I think the game plan here is to turbo fuck. Like,
all right.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
really
I just liked it
anything,
because we knew that Uluguru is short on lands, but I guess if he just draws a land or 2, suddenly you look pretty stupid for doing that play. So could have put him to 3 that turn, but isn't what he did.
How could he couldn't put on
if he sacked
3?
like everything?
No, that would be 5 because then the green one would lose Metalcraft.
Oh, that's true. I still wouldn't have done it anyway since he didn't have a Galvanic Blast.
Exactly.
Plus, you lose like everything. So,
And the
Here we
dispel
go.
for the piece is quite powerful right now.
Yeah, so let's see if he Pyroblasts this guy. Condescend's going to be pretty brutal here. Honestly, I'm not sure you counter it because I'm not sure you care about any of these things getting bounced, but at the same time, you just have no pressure at all. If
I think
you
you have to try to counter
yeah.
it because it's really, really hard to get the 4/4 back. He's bouncing the 4/4, of course.
Yeah, and then you discard the Springleaf Drum or something, and then you can never cast it again.
Exactly.
All right, so Pyroblast not working, Condescends, getting a Scry. Don't know what he did with a Scry, but that's okay. Probably going to put a 4/4 on top, maybe put an Atog on top or into his hand. Yeah, looks like he's most scared of Atog, which makes sense. If Zane had a fling, or not Zane, if Uluguru had a fling and he attacked with both Atogs, he could probably sack enough stuff to make one of them big enough to fling. I'm not positive. I didn't really do the math because he doesn't have the fling and it's not that important, but looks like Math Guy is playing around that for sure. So looks like we got some people.
Says that you're right.
Well, my math says that Math Guy played around it no matter what, so I don't have to worry about doing the counting. And that's Math Guy's job. So looks like he's going to discard the Springleaf Drum. Kind of what I thought he would discard basically no matter what got bounced. It's not doing a ton right now. We got some people talking about our new overlay in the chat. Shout outs to Deluxikov for making the sweet new overlay. And got that tap symbol in the CPC. Everything looks pretty professional. Looks nice. So big shout outs to Deluxikov. You guys can check out his stream and his YouTube. They are both Propaganda, I think. So if you go to like twitch.com/Propaganda, that's his Twitch page. And if you just search Propaganda on YouTube, you can find his channel. It's got some awesome videos. Yeah, I guess we added it below the stream as well. So check him out there. He does some really good stuff. He plays totally different than I do. So if you guys watch what I do, or if you don't care what I do, but if you want to see aggressive stuff, that's how Deluxikov plays. He plays so different than I do. So you can really see some interesting perspectives. So this turn we've got this attack with this Atog, and looks like he's going to be sacrificing multiple artifacts. He's going to have to sacrifice the land in order to kill that Dinner of Horror. But it's off the table. So that's phase one.
Yeah, now he's probably going to play another Atog.
I agree. I would probably play the Atog, but you could play the Prophetic Prism maybe if you really wanted to.
He have already dropped a land, so it doesn't really make sense to play the Prism.
Right.
It was just to find a land with.
All right.
So Muldrifter.
Muldrifter is a great card. I don't know if it's the best creature in Pauper, but it's definitely the sweetest. So, Muldrifter is awesome, and found another Fog and a Hydroblast, so he found some really strong cards in the matchup.
He can only play one of the Fogs, and he can't do anything with this spell.
Well, he can play the Fog plus Hydroblast, but he can't. He can't double Fog. So that's going to be a big problem for him if Uluguru goes for it here. And I think he might.
Maybe not all in, but definitely a lot of damage.
You think he's going to attack with the Frogmite?
No, yeah.
I just didn't know if he was going to keep back, so it gives him one less sacrifice. Like, he can't sacrifice the star now for the Atog, because the Springleaf Drum was going to be his other source of blue. And actually, holding back with the Frogmite is definitely better. But I think this is still lethal. I haven't done the math, so he can sacrifice.
Yeah, it's more than lethal.
Like
it's
4
way
things.
past lethal. No.
Well, he
2,
can't
4,
sacrifice. He can't
6,
sacrifice the star. I don't think this is lethal.
8,
I think
9,
he had to
10.
hold back the Frogmite.
It's only 10. It's only 10. What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had to hold back that Frogmite, because if he holds back the Frogmite, he can sacrifice the star and both his lands. Well, it's not lethal then if he does that though. Like, he doesn't have to fog, but he can float the blue and then sacrifice everything. So that would have been enough. He could have gotten in for exactly 11 if he held back the Frogmite and floated the blue.
Yeah. Or maybe you held back an attack.
I think it was just a misplay. It's hard to say because are there any lands or creatures in the graveyard before that Muldrifter hit there? Because he would get super blown up by Pulsar Marasa, and he would. Well, he wouldn't get blown up. Like, yeah, I don't think.
You
there
still
was
have
a
the dispel.
double. Oh yeah, Hydroblast plus. Yeah. Never mind. What am I saying? Like Hydroblast kills the ATOG, so I'm just.
But he knows that Math Guy is
saying.
playing Dispel. Ulurgo knows that Math Guy is playing Dispel, so Math Guy can have Moment's Peace plus Dispel.
Yeah, or even the Hydroblast works because he just kills the ATOG. That's what I was saying before, and then I got messed up. So definitely the right play by Uluguru. He counted right, and it's exactly what Math Guy had in hand. So don't listen to me. Listen to what Uluguru does in the game. He's playing right.
I'm not still not convinced about attacking with both ATOGs. It is just 1 more damage, and he could.
You could hold up the Dispel, you mean?
Yeah, or activate 1 more mana in his turn. Play the Prism.
Sure. That could be, especially if you weren't going to sacrifice anything to the ATOG anyway.
Exactly.
So it looks like both of the ATOGs are going to get killed here, or he's going to get back a moment. Is there a Moment's Peace even in the graveyard? Getting the Hydroblast back, taking out this ATOG. This is looking pretty bleak at this point for Uluguru. Math Guy doesn't know that Uluguru doesn't have like a couple Galvanic Blasts in hand, but this is looking pretty rough. He's got 4 fogs queued up.
It's not that bad. The Dispel is going to do work.
Yeah.
Why does he attack with Frogmite? That seems silly.
I'm not really sure. So obviously this is dangerous for Math Guy. If Uluguru had a Dispel plus a Galvanic Blast, this game would be over. But that isn't the case. And we'll see if this Dispel can get him there. So far it hasn't been... Ooh, Ancient Grudge is brutal. It's going to take out the Mirror Enforcer. And then maybe the Frogmite, depending on if this Dispel saves the Frogmite. I probably wouldn't save it, but what do you think? If he had just cast the Ancient Grudge on the Frogmite, would you counter it?
No.
Yeah, probably not. I was just thinking that you could get in for 2 damage a turn with the Frogmite, but it's probably not worth it. So drew another ATOG.
Way too slow.
ATOG's one of the better draws probably, but I don't think it'll be enough. Do you dispel this one? Looks like Uluguru is going to.
Yeah, he have to find a way to win.
Well, he's thinking about it.
You have to.
Yep, and then he'll be able to play this Prophetic Prism as well. You can get down both of them. If he plays the Springleaf Drum, he can tap both things, but he might also just play the Forger or attack with the Forger. So you think he blocks? I'd probably block with Seagate Oracle. Yeah.
Jump for Gadvanic.
Pretty much all of these plays have made sense so far. Gets to play his Prophetic Prism. I don't think he has any land drops left, so no matter what he draws, doesn't matter. Maybe he does have a land drop. He can play the Springleaf Drum.
But the game is over now. He just plays the Marauder.
Yeah, he doesn't have any way to sacrifice any of his own artifacts, I don't think, but he's got the Ancient Grudge in the graveyard, so that'll probably do it.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Also, the attack can't do anything after that one. And 4 pieces.
Yeah, I think the first Ancient Grudge will pretty much end the game here.
Exactly.
So what do you think he hits?
Ancient
You think he hits
Grudge,
the Frogmite?
and then just say go.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what he hits, but the Frogmite probably makes the most sense. And that's going to be it for this game, I think. Oh, he's hitting the land. He's so confident. He's so confident that there's nothing that can possibly be done.
Yeah, the game is over.
Yeah, I don't think Blue Guru has any outs. He didn't have any. Yeah, he didn't have anything that can kill this thing. He doesn't have any Journey to Nowhere or anything. This would be the first card if you were going to script a win from this, but I think he needed to hit like all 4 thought casts in a row plus like a bunch of perfect cards. Like could he have hit like triple Galvanic Blast this turn? Like thought cast, triple Galvanic Blast to win? That would have probably been his only out.
Just double. So start by killing the creature.
Right. That might have worked too. But triple would have been straight up lethal. He would have been able to 12 them, but wasn't the case. Finger Marauder came down. You know, I'm a little surprised to see Affinity fall to this Tron deck in game 1, but a lot less so in game 2. Especially this Tron deck has so much anti-Affinity stuff. Like he's got the Gorilla Shamans even, like just crazy stuff just for Affinity.
I don't get the Gorilla Shaman. I think they should just be more Marauders.
Yeah, I agree. More Marauders, or even just like you could play another Ancient Grudge, right? Or you could play another Circle of Protection Red to help your Burn matchup or Red Deck Wins matchup, or I don't know.
Exactly.
There's some other options that I would probably have gone with, but didn't need the Gorilla Shaman there. It's really a testament to Tron's power. It drew 1 Ancient Grudge that didn't play the back half of it for a long time. It was basically a Doomblade for most of the game and was still enough to get there. So it really shows the power of Tron and beat Affinity game 1 just with some fogs. So pretty cool deck. I like this deck right now. If you wanted to play Tron, I'd play this Dinarova Tron deck. It's pretty awesome.
I'm going to bed now. It's just late early in the morning.
Yeah, it's pretty late there. Was it like 2 or 3?
Almost 4 a.m.
Almost 4, so it's 3:42.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty late. So it's not quite that late
2
here.
hours of sleep.
Well, that's all you need, right?
Exactly. That's all a Magic player needs.
2 hours twice a day. That's what you should have.
I got 5 hours yesterday because of the Sunday event.
Yeah, it ended early for you.
Yeah, I went 14th or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I know that you don't get a ton of sleep when you make the top 8 in that tournament. It takes you pretty much all the way till the next day. Well, all right. We saw hard-fought battle there with Uluguru versus Math Guy. Math Guy coming out ahead. Man, Uluguru keeps getting beaten by decks that I think should be, pretty good matchup for him. I feel like he's picking good decks. It's been 2 seasons in a row where he's just lost to these Tron decks. I don't know what the issue is, but It keeps happening to him.
You think he just keeps getting unlucky?
I don't know. Math guy seemed like he was pretty prepared for the affinity matchup this time, but I think against a normal Dinarova Tron deck, I mean, the matchup's got to be pretty close to 50-50. I mean, affinity's been turning in the league, so it's got to have some good matchups, right?
You know, it's funny. I don't think I've ever lost to affinity with the Dinarova deck. Even game one, because you have Prohibit and because you have Moment's Peace. As long as you can get Tron early, and I mean, of course, Affinity is that deck that's like, if they get the God draw and they just go, you know, turn 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Sometimes you just lose, but I've had pretty good luck against it. Funny enough, the bane of my existence when I was playing Lobo's Peregrine Tron deck was Affinity, because every single time I would think, oh, I'm safe here, they can't possibly have drawn the Fling in the first 10 cards of their deck. Oh, they drew it. I would just be dead. And I would just be like, okay, great. But
yeah, well, maybe your results are flipped. Like, you lost to me when I was playing Kuldotha Boros when you were playing Dinarova Tron, and then you beat Affinity. So maybe you just traded your results.
Probably. Probably. I mean, then I lost to you with Dinarova Tron against Kuldotha Boros by having a mulligan to 4 in game 3. So. You know, that always happens.
Yeah. Well, play well, get rewarded. That's what I always say.
All for Tixty. Lineup for today was Pauper MTG versus ML Lobo. Pauper MTG took that with mono green Tron over. What are we calling Lobo's deck? I guess just Fog.
It's just a Turbo Fog. I think you wrote Scrounger Fog or something on the website, but
yeah, I think it's Scrounger Fog basically.
Sure, it makes it pretty obvious what the deck is. So.
And then we just saw Dinarova Tron take it over Affinity. We saw Math Guy take it over Ulu Guru. That brings Math Guy to 2-1, and that brings Ulu Guru to 1-2. The next match is going to be Shane, since he's back now, but he's not going to be commentating, against Littlefield. I think Littlefield's trying not to go 0-3. Is that
yeah,
true?
what's Littlefield on? He's on
Affinity, but he's with Temur Battle Rage, which is much better against the Elf deck, I think.
Right. So that's kind of what I was saying last week. We commentated Littlefield's deck, and he was playing against Math Guy last week or 2 weeks ago. I just remember I commentated that match, and the Temur Battle Rage is obviously terrible. I think he played both Fog decks so far, right? Or he played.
Yeah, he played both Fog-like decks. If he just had Fling against, oh no, wait, did he play against?
He played two. So there's 3 decks that have Fogs in them. We've got the Mono Green Tron, the Scrounger Fog, and the Dinarova Tron. And I know he's played against 2 of those, and
you know what I think
he lost both matches with his Temur Battle Rage in hand against a Fog, where he would have definitely won if it were a Fling.
Is Math Guy 3-0? Did I get that wrong? He beat Lobo. Did he win last week? Oh, I'm sorry, Math Guy. You're right. I was looking at the wrong result. So Math Guy is 3-0. So we're going to see if... are you the only one that could potentially go 3-0 besides him?
I can still go 3-0, yeah.
But I think you're the only one that can still potentially do it.
Yeah, I think 420 Dragon lost, and
then,
obviously we've got Shane playing, so there's no chance that he's going to go 3-0. And I don't know who Shane is playing against.
Shane's playing against Littlefield. I think Littlefield,
we're talking about Littlefield.
In the first week faced Pauper MTG. Yeah, and he won game 1 because they weren't playing Fangren, and then game 2 and 3 they got Fangren at the right time and they just beat him, and then last week happened.
Right.
So I just want to give a shout out to Be a Unicorn for hosting us as well.
To do that.
And also thanks to everybody who has followed us. Should be showing up on the screen. We're just waiting to get Shane and Littlefield up in the Google Hangouts, setting everything up. Are we almost done with that, Zane? Or?
Whoa, we got all kinds of viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a pretty big crowd out here.
Yeah, we had a really big crowd. Oh, okay, they're getting in the match now.
That's probably because I was commentating. I told everyone that I would be here, so.
Yeah, everyone seems to like you and Lobo. Everyone seems to like you and Lobo, so. So for this match, 420 Dragon, who is Shane's biggest fan, I guess, and and Pauper MTG guys, as sober
fan,
or and however what the hell they are going to commentate. So that should be fun. Are all you guys here?
Yeah, we're here.
420
Yeah, I'm
Dragon?
right here. How's it
Okay,
going,
good.
guys?
Good, how about you?
Pretty good.
The Gabby guy, is Shane traveling? I guess he is, but I guess he has a laptop or tablet that plays something. I have no idea.
Well,
So,
all right, I'll get out of here and leave you guys to that. If you guys want to stick around, you guys can check out the next couple games. You know, we got some pretty good commentators, even though I'm heading out. So hopefully, you guys all enjoy them.
Like you were always the most humble of people.
All right, see you guys later.
Later, Mike. So Pauper and TG guys, your match tonight. How did that go for you? Because Emma Lobo had some choice words.
Yeah. It went a lot better than we were expecting because our Turbo Fog matchup is quite frankly abysmal. But we luck sacked our way through it, which is fair because we kind of got robbed during week 2. So it's like a little bit of both, you know. But it felt good to win because after that first game, I was like, I don't know how I win this, but we found a way.
Are you both here, or is it just you?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
both
Yeah,
here.
No, Dragon. I know you're here.
sorry,
Okay,
I'm trying to cool down my performance since last week, so.
Oh no, everybody seems to like. I think you and Mike Uru are probably the most favorited guys, besides Shane. I mean, everybody loves Shane. So 420 Dragon. Would you like to tell us just how big of a fan of Shane that you are?
I think Shane's great. He really embodies the spirit of the game that I want to be. You know, just there to have fun. That's what I'm doing when I play. I'm there to have fun. I play almost purely based on my instincts, right? Which is like how I imagine Shane to play. I mean, no offense at all. I think it makes sense.
I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing. Holy shit. Excuse my language. I should not be the one cursing. Only Lobo could do that technically today. Did you watch any of season 1, Dragon? I don't know if you did. You might never know.
Just like a little tiny bit, but not very much.
Did you ever see Shane's big win against Mike Uru?
No, I don't think I did. I'll have to go back and check it out, though.
Oh, God.
I've heard him.
I don't think
talk
I've
about
ever been happier for Shane in the entire time that I've known him for the past year. I think Zane remembers just how excited I was that he didn't go 0-7.
Yeah.
God.
That's tough. I hope I'm not going to get into that position.
Well, you can't.
I mean,
you
I
already
got-
won a match, so.
I got my 1, but I don't want to be 1-7 or whatever.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since your matchup is up next against Mono, how is your matchup against Mono Red with your deck?
I think it's actually not too bad. I think especially pre-board, it's probably pretty bad. You can definitely win games if they don't kill your familiar. You get off to a nice Stonehorn draw or a Lone Missionary. You get anything like that going on, it might be hard for them to stop you with some snaps, especially.
That's fair. What do you have against the matchup? I know you have Lone Missionaries and whatnot, right?
Yeah, and then in the sideboard, you get to actually bring in quite a bit. I usually pack 2 or 3 Hydroblasts. I think I'm on 3. And the rest of the Lone Missionaries, so you can go up to 4. A couple Prismatic Strands, and I think 1 more copy of Stonehorn Dignitary to kind of just load up. And then you usually just take out a lot of the slower black cards, maybe 1 or 2 Compulsives. Maybe a Flicker.
Did you ever play the first origination of it back when Temporal Fisher was around? Did you ever play Pauper back then?
I played a little bit of Pauper, but I was actually on Delver because I was kind of a noob. I was just oh, dude, Delver. I'll play that. I didn't really know about combo decks.
Yeah, I mean, I personally miss Storm. I wish that Storm was still in Pauper. I wish that Wizards would just give up the Ghost and let it back in, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can understand. It was probably pretty broken. I don't know. I did play the Cloud of Fairies version, and I definitely got my fair share of messages telling me how much they wish my deck was banned after I got a turn 3 kill or whatever.
I mean, I remember the days of cloud posts, so I remember many angry messages about
That's
how
awesome.
the deck was stupid. I remember mono blue. I think mono blue cloud post is what really set everybody over the edge.
Really, was that how was that deck built? Was it like with Temporal Fissure, Clouded Fairies, just all the nonsense?
Well, what happened was, I don't remember who created it, but there was a blue-green deck that a bunch of Pauper ringers, and it had a few articles written about it. There was a blue-green version of the deck that splashed green for Moment's Peace and a couple of other things. And that deck could win by like turn 3 or 4 because it played crop rotation, so it was already bullcrap.
You just get out your fucking 3 or 4.
Right. And then so I don't know who it was, but a very famous Pauper player at the time decided, oh, you know what? Let's just remove the green and see how this goes. And removing the green gave it a few worse matchups, but it made it almost impossible to win against it for the rest of the format. And everyone just hated it because the deck would win by like turn 3, turn 4 every consistent time. Because the blue-green version, you needed the right lands. It's funny because those were really considered the dark ages of Pauper, but I think those were also some of the funner times.
Yeah. I remember when I really started getting very into Pauper, it was the Treasure Cruise era, and I thought that was just a whole lot of fun.
I took time off during that one.
Really? Okay. Well, because Treasure Cruise lasted a whole nother ban cycle than it did in other formats. Like in Modern and I think Legacy, it was just basically banned almost immediately. Like.
Okay.
All right. Looks like we should be getting into the match soon.
Yeah, I think I was gonna come back to Pauper. I took a break to do some take care of some things, and I came back to Pauper and saw Treasure Cruise was legal. I'm like, nope, gonna wait. The only deck I ever really played, I think, while it was legal. Was the 5-color Domain Zoo deck. It was the only deck I ever played.
Did that deck play Treasure Cruise? It probably did, right?
Yep. Yeah, it did.
That's kind of awesome. All right, so it looks like we're getting into the match here. I don't know. Have you played the Elves versus Affinity matchup?
Pauper MTG guys, you guys are good to go.
Elves versus Affinity. I feel like you want to get an early Well-Wisher down if you can. Because if you just gain enough life, Affinity just can't race around that.
Yeah. And we see, I think, the Affinity player here, Littlefield, has actually taken a mulligan down to 6. His hand is actually kind of slow. He doesn't have any creatures. What do you think? What do you guys think about that?
I probably would have thrown that one back too, but
yeah, maybe go down to 5.
Going down to 5 sucks, but sometimes you just gotta do it.
He does have the turn 2 Thoughtcast for 1 mana. He can maybe hit a Frogmite, play a Springleaf Drum. I don't know. Do something.
Yeah, it doesn't look good because Shane's got a handful of dudes to beat him up with.
Yeah, Shane's hand looks pretty nice here. He's got the turn 1 Elvish Mystic, turn 2 maybe Birchlore and Quirion Rangers, and I think he can even get down a Timberwatch after that if he wants to.
Yeah, it's a pretty spicy start.
Interesting to see the Terraria on here instead of the other cantrips.
Yeah, instead of the Springleaf Drum. I guess he has to... Oh, you mean just in the deck list?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Off the top, though.
Yeah,
is that like a budget concern, or is he just like maxing out?
I think it might be because you can sack it to Atog to draw a card, whereas with Chromatic Sphere, you can't do that.
You think so? So there's no spheres in this guy's list?
It's also maybe for the Gear Seeker Serpents. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays 4 Serpents, so he kind of needs the double blue, that's why.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
That makes sense, yeah.
All right, so it looks like he is going to be firing off the Thoughtcast here. And wow, 2 copies of Temur Battle Rage just really is not what he wants at this phase of the game.
Yeah, he wanted some more artifacts, just throw under that, because he really wants to take game 1 fast, because I believe Shane runs Moment's Peace that he can bring in to really nullify the Temur Battle Rage ATOG combo.
Yeah, Moment's Peace is going to be especially effective against Temur Battle Rage as opposed to Fling. And looks like the Elves players actually they drew a Elvish Vanguard for their second turn, and then they're able to get that down. And I don't think that they'll be able to do much more. They get to play a couple. Oh no, they actually have a second copy of Quirion Ranger. Okay, they didn't use it though.
Okay.
Not Shane. Shane didn't want to use his Quirion Rangers there. I don't really know why. He could have played a bunch more elves. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So there's a visual
I'm
glitch
sorry
there.
for that.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a visual bug there.
Okay, I gotcha. That's unfortunate.
Shane takes a vacation to Somalia.
I mean, gotta travel around the world. Ah, okay.
Shane discards his hand. Interesting play.
Oh, the
Well,
Well-Wisher. That's brutal.
Yeah, the Well-Wisher here is just really going to put a clock on Littlefield, because now Littlefield just really has to kill Shane, or else Shane's just going to be gaining tons of life every single turn,
Yeah,
and Littlefield's just going to die.
the ATOG doesn't really get you there through that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You gotta
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you got to get it down early before that happens, and
Also play other cards.
well, you know.
And it's unfortunate that the team or battle rages don't stack. You can't give a creature quadruple strike or anything.
That'd be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Did that ever work, or
No, that would be
I'm just thinking of the old school
back in
Pikmin,
like
how you could
Alpha or
stack them.
something.
But Littlefield's draw is pretty good here. Getting to use both the Chromatic Stars, probably going to tap the ATOG to get down the Mirror Enforcer, or potentially just going to... No, because it costs 2 mana here, so they'd have to tap the ATOG anyway. They should just play the Star.
Yeah, might as well. Got more stack fodder, but yeah, he needs to draw Galvanic Blasts like last turn to get rid of that Well-Wisher, otherwise... Actually, he needs 2 of them because he's got to get rid of Timberwatch too, but...
Yeah, Timberwatch is also just going to kill him.
Yeah, there's too many threats for him to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah, with the Quirion Ranger as well, I just can't imagine it's going well.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember from Shane's hand, he had a Sylvan Ranger in his hand, which he hasn't played yet. So that's at least 1 more elf, which is going to add a lot of damage to the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Littlefield really should have thrown back that hand, knowing that he's playing against elves, because it just had no action. And
it's a tough spot. Because, like, I don't know, what are his best draws there? Probably, like, Flayer Husk, just to turn on the Springleaf Drums, and then maybe, like, get the Mirror Enforcers out faster, and then he just needs, like, ATOG with a bunch of Galvanic Blasts immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he basically needs to get the ATOG down and then just kill immediately. Otherwise, once Shane gets set up, he can't really get around it.
Yeah.
But I hear Shane's throwing ability is something of a legend around here, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shane's got this game pretty locked up, but we'll see if Littlefield can clutch this out. So it looks like Littlefield's thinking. Yeah, it would take many, many misclicks for Shane to lose this game.
And it looks like it doesn't get that much better for Littlefield post-board. I see he's got like the Krark Clan Shamans and maybe
Krark Clan Shamans.
They can do work.
I mean, yeah, I think if he draws a Krark Clan Shaman and casts it, I think he's got a very high chance of winning the game.
Yeah. Well, I guess the biggest issue is then you kind of have to build yourself back up, but it's better than dying.
Yeah, I mean, as the affinity player, you can probably fire it off for like two or 3 points of damage and keep your 4/4s alive potentially, which could just potentially wipe the Elves player's board.
But looking at Shane's sideboard, Tangle and Gleeful Sabotage seem pretty good, and I'd probably bring that other Well-Wisher too.
I think he might have to bring in the copies of Spider Silk Armor as well, just to combat the potential for sweepers like Electrickery and the Krark Clan Shaman we were just talking about.
Yeah.
What about Wirewood Herald here? Are you guys familiar with that card?
I'm looking at it right now.
What, it's a 2 mana like 1/2 or something? 2/1?
So it's a 1/1.
1/1, okay. And when it dies, you get to search your deck for an elf?
Yep, and you put it right in your hand. I guess if he wants to just sit on that, if he's expecting the sweeper, and then he can sit on that and kind of start to rebuild, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
But-
that could potentially be good. It's also a nice chump blocker. You can like save 4 life, go tutor up
Mhm.
the elf that you need.
Right. I can see that being good. I feel
yeah.
like that's a lot of.
He's only
That
running
is a lot of
again.
cards
3
to
Priests of
board in.
Titania. That's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, that card seems very powerful. I think I'd probably want 4 copies in my Elves deck. Though I guess the Elves deck does generally get to make tons and tons of mana, and it is kind of more about what you're going to do with it.
Hmm. Okay.
All right, looks like we're going to be having Littlefield's deck up on the screen right now. All right, and so out of his sideboard, he's got 4 copies of Electrickery, 2 copies of Krark Clan Shaman, and I think seeing this, Shane's definitely going to be bringing in the 3 copies of Spider Silk Armor. So, with that being the case, do you think that Littlefield's going to bring in Ray of Revelation to counter that?
I don't think so. I think he'd be going a little bit deep to bring in Spider Silk Armor, honestly. If I
Really?
were him, I would take in the Journey, though, just to make sure he can take out, what is that, the Timberwatch guy before he gets out of control.
Right. I mean,
I actually really would not mind him bringing in Spider Silk Armor. I think that's actually just the right play.
yeah, I think it's different if they didn't know what each other's sideboards were, but because they do have access to that, he knows that Littlefield has 6 sweepers for him.
He's got so much hate. And then, all right, so we're going to move over. And I actually think that the Ray of Revelation, could be pretty sick here.
Yeah, I would. I guess if he's trying to go super meta, but I guess we'll have to see. I would be interested to see if he did that, but
Yeah, I think in his spot, I would probably be on that plan, but I don't know. It is definitely, like you said, it could just very well miss, especially if they just don't even draw it.
sure.
All right, so in the ideal world, how many copies of Ray of Revelation would you bring in for the potential of Spider Silk Armor?
That's a tough question. I think probably like 2 at least,
Yeah,
maybe 3.
because 2, if you really want to draw him, then 2 or 3. I mean, but you have to bring in at least 2 because those 2 will deal with all 3 of his Spider Silk Armors.
Yeah, I guess
problem
it could just be overkill because even if they only have 1 copy of a Spider Silk Armor in play or whatever, you can still just draw 2 copies of Electrickery or draw a Krark Clan Shaman and sack 2 artifacts. Like, it's not actually that big of a deal.
Right. Yeah, that does seem a little deep, but I mean, it could be good if it's the kind of thing where you don't want to get blown out by it. So
I guess I'm kind of off the Revelations now. Like, I think
that's fair.
Yeah. I think he's just fine without him. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah.
All right, so Shane's hand cam is still down, and it looks like he is thinking here whether he wants to keep or not. So I guess he might potentially have a sketchy hand on 7.
Okay.
He's got 7 Spider Silk Armors in hand.
And he's like, oh no. But
He's got
Littlefield
all the Ray of Revelations.
yeah.
That was the other guy. That was the other deck. My bad.
So Littlefield's hand seems pretty good though. I like that a lot better than his last hand. He needs to draw another land for it to be like really good, but he throws
it back.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No,
We're waiting on Shane because I think they're trying to work out hand
What
cams.
is going on here? Amateur hour, boys.
Stop that.
It's just
Hangouts aren't easy.
Remember this one time I tried to hang out? Ooh.
we should be getting the hand cams back up very soon for you guys, and the game should be starting too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, there's the
Yep.
hand cam again. And I think that hand is pretty sketchy, although it does have Electrickery, which could be a reason to keep it. And he's on
seeing
the
the
play,
Electrickery
though.
and the Galvanic Blast is going to be very good for Littlefield, and I think on
Yeah.
1 land this is probably a safe keep against Elves.
Really? All right. I mean, I'm definitely not an Affinity player, so I'm not very experienced in situations like this.
Well,
But
that
my
just means you have
instinct,
taste.
yeah, my instinct is just to mulligan it because I love hitting land drops too much.
Yeah, I think sometimes you got to go big if you got, I mean, he's got the Atog, he's got the Electrickery, he's got the Galvanic Blast. If he gets 1 more land, he's got all the hate he needs. And yeah, I don't know.
See, my instinct was to vomit because I noticed he was playing Affinity.
Well, do you lead on Chromatic Star here?
I guess he's got to.
Yeah, I think you definitely do. Now
I
that I
don't think
think about
Great
it,
Ranger is worth the Galvanic Blast on turn 1 anyway if he wants to run that out. But
Right.
yeah, but I
If he
guess that you
still
could
has
just
the
untap and blast it in any case and crack the star to try and hit a land or whatever if you want. Like, it just
Yeah, I
adds
guess
the extra.
Yeah, he's just going to be
Free.
digging for land as much as possible, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, if he does draw a land without cracking the star just from his draw step, he's able to play another star, get the Frogmite down, still have a mana up for potential Galvanic Blast.
Yeah, I think that's his best play. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't hit the land here, he's just done, which is unfortunate. But you got to go big or you got to go home.
On the other side of the table here, I think Shane should keep a hand that has anything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's taking a little while though.
Oh yeah. I hear Philadelphia is not kind when it comes to internet.
He's got his dowsing rods out.
All right, go.
All right. We're
Let's
having
go.
some miscommunications apparently, but looks like we're gonna get underway here. All right, we're going.
All right, so
he does
here we
the
go.
star. Yep.
he leads off on the star. Definitely a strong move. And let's see what Shade's got in store for us on turn 1.
This is gonna be a real
Forest.
surprise. All right, man.
And Horn Elves. All right, cool. That's pretty typical elf start. Okay,
Oh, no.
another copy of Electricity.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
interesting. Is he going to crack the star here? I think he probably does.
yeah. That's and then play the other star.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's cracking the star.
Or see what he draws anyway. Hoping for another land.
Ooh,
Galvanic
another
Blast. Okay.
blast.
Out of all the non-land cards he could have drawn, that's probably the best
The
one.
Galvanic Blast, probably, yeah. But
Maybe
I think
Clan Shaman. I guess he doesn't really have anything to sack, but still.
Not playing the other sphere or star is kind of weird to me. But
yeah, I wouldn't Galvanic Blast just a
just like mana.
that was just a land
yeah.
world, or some
I
variant.
think I'd probably be saving Galvanic Blast for elves that don't die to Electricity at this point.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really
Ooh,
cool.
no.
Okay, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
no, come on.
and he okay, he got the land though.
He's still in here, so he's still in it.
But
And it's
not-
honestly kind of
Red Source is not a good thing on this hand because
yeah, it's
Okay, now
definitely
I'm fine with that Galvanic Blast play.
yeah, I mean you can never know that's gonna happen, but
Ooh, he did bring up the
There's
Spider
the
Soul Armor.
okay.
Okay. So Ray of Revelation. Let's go.
I'll
Alright.
never doubt for 20 Dragon again.
Yep. All right, Terrarion, okay. Not a land, unfortunately.
And it's almost kind of good that he didn't actually Shane rather destroyed the land immediately with the Gleeful Sabotage, because if he had waited and potentially played out elves, he could have kicked it and blown up both of Littlefield's lands, which would have just been way worse.
Well, and he did see that he had kept a one-lander. I think.
Oh my god, Affinity, are you kidding me right now?
Oh man.
Get out of my face. This is so dumb.
The soul.
You're not allowed to win this game.
Yeah, the top deck here is actually very good. If he can just get down to Atog maybe, and that's probably just going to be his line right here.
Yeah, you can go ATOG and then you can still Electricity later too.
I'm looking to see a double Electricity right now. For no reason.
Right now, no. Yeah, I guess that would be one way he.
And then he wins the game anyway.
So this spot's actually pretty good for Littlefield almost. I mean, we don't know Shane's hand, so I can't say for sure.
That makes it a little difficult
actually,
to say, but
yeah, and actually, I guess with just the power of elves, I think he's potentially behind Littlefield is, because I think elves with a Spider Silk Armor here is just very powerful.
Right. Yeah, because he needs the double Electricity to actually get through.
Yeah,
that.
he really needs to get to 4 mana.
Which it's a good thing he has both Electricities, but you know.
I mean, double Electricity doesn't even kill his like 2/2 guy, does it?
No, but
He can potentially Galvanic Blast here and play another Atog. If I'm seeing his hand cam correctly.
yeah.
I don't know how much I like that.
Really? you don't like killing the Elvish Vanguard. I think you're gonna have to deal with it at some point anyway.
I don't know. That card doesn't scare me too much. I don't know. I'd be more inclined to save it for something more powerful, like the Birchlore Ranger or whatever the guy that pumps your elves is.
Timberwatch elf.
Timberwatch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just like imagining that card getting up really big to like a 5/6 or something, and eventually.
Well, surely you can hold the Galvanic Blast until it becomes something that Galvanic Blast can't deal with, right?
Mm.
Well, it's kind of hard because your red mana is Terrarion here, so you kind of want to use
now
it.
he doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah.
But he can thought cast, which he gets the other one.
Okay, so now he's probably going to Galvanic Blast that thing. Just
Yeah,
he might.
Mean,
oh no, he plays
no,
the
he thought casted, so he has to choose between Atog or Blast. I mean, I guess after you thought cast and you're left with 2 mana, I do like the play of playing Atog more than I like Galvanic Blast there.
Really?
I guess he doesn't know when he's going to get another chance to play that because he needs to draw a red source. So usually don't see Affinity get color screwed too hard, but yeah, it seems like he might be in a rough spot here if he doesn't get the right draws. But so far he hasn't had a problem getting the right draws. So.
But see here, like if Shane just has like any number of elves, that thing just becomes like an insane blocker, and Shane just gets infinite time to assemble his combo.
Yeah. But now that he has 2 Atogs, he can swing around that anyway. If he does get the Teamer Battle Rage.
Is he playing? Yeah, he's playing Teamer Battle Rage instead of Fling, right? Which is just so much worse in this matchup.
Yeah, it's a lot worse than seems like all of his matchups so far, which is unfortunate. But
yeah,
I think Teamer Battle Rage does get you there in situations where Fling might not. But I feel like Fling is probably. I think people have talked about this to death, unfortunately. But
I think Teamer Battle Rage is better, like if you're on lower resources. Sometimes.
Yeah. Situationally better, but
I think it's very rarely better.
Right. So he's got the Carapace Forger here too. I mean, he's got guys, but they're not super threatening at the moment.
These,
and he really needs to find
3 red cards, not very exciting right now.
Yeah, well, they were better before his red source got blown up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Who would have seen that coming? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He really needs double red here to be able to fire off, to have the potential of double Electrickery.
Yeah, which I guess if he draws a Terrarion, that does it pretty handily, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so now the that elf is beyond Galvanic Blast.
Yeah, he couldn't do it, so...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm scared of, right? Like, I think you could almost just save the Thoughtcast because, like, now you have another uncastable red spell in your hand, where it's like you could still cast a Thoughtcast.
Hmm.
Well, he's not blessed with the future sight, like me.
Right. All right, well, what does the future sight tell you, Rob?
I'm gonna say Affinity's got this one.
You think so?
Yeah,
really?
Definitely.
That's
Really?
a bold claim.
Yeah, that's very bold. I think this seems pretty handy for the Elves player.
Hey man, everybody loves the underdog.
Yeah, I guess that's
All right.
Yeah.
That's a start.
Springleaf Drum. Okay, yeah, that'll.
Springleaf Drum, that is going to turn. Yeah, that is going to turn some of the spells online. He probably has to just take out this Timberwatch, I imagine.
Definitely.
Yep, I would Galvanic Blast that immediately.
Ooh, with a spicy swing.
He's holding back the Frogmite. Well,
I mean,
right now he doesn't have any because he swung out with the big elf.
Yeah, the Frogmite's on drum duty, right?
Yep. Yep. So he just throws some dudes under the Atog, and he's just gonna take the 4, I guess.
Yeah, and this is probably a close race, but I can't really imagine the Elves player losing this race. They're just gonna have so many chump blockers with the 4-mana elf Lissalana Huntmaster.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can just keep making them now. Yep, that's.
How many cards does Negashane have? I can't see it for me.
3 in his hand, I believe.
Yeah.
Hmm. 3 confirmed in hand. Probably all elves.
All right,
Okay,
and I
you
like the
expect
Galvanic
play?
Blast being fired off.
Yep, you got to do that.
I don't know. I just see a future
Okay.
where he has a bunch of 1/2 elves and he double Electrickeries.
Right. Well, he needs another
the
red
maximum.
source for that. Yeah.
That would definitely work out. All right, Shane with the land here. And blue mana, maybe using Distant Melody.
That'd be pretty good right now. Refill his
That
hands.
would be.
Oh, he's
Oh,
Single
a sabotage.
You don't want to see that.
The Springleaf Drum, yep.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so
matter,
the Gleeful Sab here is just really going to destroy any chance that Littlefield had of mustering up a double Electrickery.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be very hard to win for him at this point.
Keep in mind, Littlefield does run Terrarion, so that's double red by itself.
Yeah.
It does enter the battlefield tapped, though, so it's going to be a little
That's
while
true.
before he's able to actually utilize that.
But Littlefield's still at 20, so
Hold on, my dog's dying.
I don't think the dog's actually dying, but
And actually, this Gleeful Sab also takes him off of 4 mana, which is just making it so that he gets to get another card before he can actually Electrickery here.
yeah, it's not looking good anymore.
Wow,
Yeah,
wait,
Gleeful Sab is brutal.
is he just dead on the backswing? What did Shane do? He doesn't even have a Quirion Ranger. Oh my gosh.
He could have moments. He could have Tangle in hand.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He almost surely has Tangle. I can't imagine you make this play without having Tangle. Okay, here
Yep,
you go.
okay.
Yeah, he has Tangle.
And I think that actually puts Littlefield dead here. Although, no, you can only do one Electrickery.
It looks like he conceded to Shane though.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he knew the Tangle was in there. So I think he could have played around that.
That was a crazy game. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think it's kind of what I expected because I think that the Elves deck is just so good against any aggro deck once it can set up. And like Affinity's not that fast of an aggro deck, right? Like it kind of gives Elves the amount of time it needs to set up a board where you can just get the engine online. This is pumping out 1/1. Like
occasionally you get a crazy ATOG play that'll just kill someone on like turn 4, but if you don't do that, you're not like a super fast aggro deck. Affinity can have its fast hands, but
and it's a lot harder to get the raw ATOG wins, as it were, like where they just don't play a blocker, you play ATOG and you kill them because like their whole deck's blockers, like they're gonna.
Tell me Affinity lost.
Yeah, Shane had the Tangle.
No way.
Yeah,
Vicious, man.
it was pretty vicious.
Pretty wild.
Let this serve as a reminder to anybody considering playing Affinity in the future.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Hang the VOD of this matchup in the cornfield to scare away all the Affinity players.
Cut off its head and put it on a spear outside the stream as a warning to everyone else.
I think Littlefield is going to make a big comeback in the next 6 matches. I think losing to Shane may have sent him off the deep end.
What's Littlefield's record at this point?
He's 0-3, and I know he's not happy about it.
Oh no!
I think he's about to come back with a vengeance.
I mean, I would have
especially because Shane just said he brought in 1 Tangle. I think Littlefield's about to make a big comeback in the next coming weeks.
Oh wow! That's
we'll see what he brings.
That's going to put Jen and Littlefield at 0-3, and Shane somehow at 2-1. Is that right?
Shane's doing it.
Shane already has 1 more win than he did last season.
All right. So then he's going to go 0-6 the next 6 weeks, and then he'll go 3-0 next season, right?
That means that Shane has a chance to actually not be kicked out of the CPC. Oh my gosh.
You never thought this would happen, did you?
I really did.
All right. I'm going to have to leave you guys, and it was fun talking about this match here.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, I'm gonna bring in Ice because he is gonna commentate with us. And Pauper and to you guys, as always, thank you very much for commentating the match. I look forward to seeing what you guys brew up next time as well.
It's gonna be a good one.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
I hope you like mono green berries.
Is Mono Green Fairies possible in Pauper? Is there enough cards to play Mono Green Fairies? Probably not. So, Ice, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Welcome to commentating of the CPC. Ice is going to be filling in for where Shane would be commentating with me. So we're going to watch possibly the fastest match of the night, as it usually is with Mikey Ruru, since he's the god tier of the shuffler. But that's neither here nor there. But
I don't know. I don't know if I can even see another matchup after seeing Shane win. It's like the day's over.
It's like, just what's the point anymore?
Yeah, like it's the whole tournament right there.
Wow, he just called you gross. You gonna take that? Holy crap!
What can I do? He just won, so I'll give him one.
I could demod him so you can time it out.
Oh, that would be great.
I can't do that though because it's me. Zane, you have to reshare again for me. The screen keeps freezing for me for some reason. I don't know why, but
cheap computer. Oh, say.
Hey, I have a very powerful computer, and don't you sigh at me, okay?
So what are we seeing right now? What's the next match?
Well, the next match is going to be, I love you, Zane, is going to be Red Deck wins against Esper Familiars, which actually should be a pretty interesting matchup because, from my opinion, I think that Game 1 is atrocious for, oh my god, it's the Extreme Video Game Watcher. From my experience, Esper Familiars is a dog Game 1 because you're just very, very slow. He needs to win the die roll, and he needs to get a very quick draw. Game 2 and 3 is better because he has a full 4 Lone Missionaries, and he has, I believe, 3 Hydroblasts. He might be playing 4. I'm not exactly sure. I'll bring up the
think he's playing
list.
3.
Okay, so that should be better. I don't, but Mike has Pyroblasts, so.
Didn't he just claim that he's actually not a dog, and he's actually pretty good against Burn?
I think Game 1 he's a dog. I think Game 2.
Well, I totally agree with you, but when he was casting, didn't he say that he actually thinks that he has the matchup against Burn?
Yeah, but
he sounded very confident about it.
If he's confident, I will admit that 420 Dragon plays this deck way more than I do. He's probably a much better player than me as well. So
I think he's
I'll
the
take
only
his word
one that
for
plays this deck at this point.
Yeah, he pretty much should be. Oh, he also has Prismatic Strands in the sideboard, so we can expect probably Flaring Pain to come in. I mean, if there's any Red Deck wins player that could win this particular matchup with all the hate, Littlefield and Mikey Riro are the two that I would pick over anybody else in the world. So
that is, I can see it, but I can say the same thing about 420, where he might be the only person that knows how to play the deck, and he might know something that we don't know about it.
I'd also like to say that according to Goldfish, the deck that Dragon's playing costs more online than it does in paper.
How does that work?
And so does Mikey Ruru's Red Deck wins, actually, so that's fun. So I guess you paper Magic players have something on us that we don't.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Pauper is a really weird format where the sideboards are the most expensive cards.
Yeah, hold on. There we go.
So,
let me ask you a few questions about yourself. So how long have you played Pauper?
Oh my god. I've been playing Pauper for 5-6 years now.
Mother of God. So that sounds like you were back there during the old days.
Yes. When Storm was a fun thing to do and people used to just complain.
When Legacy Storm was like the big deck on campus and everything.
Yeah. And actually, it's really funny because I tend to, Shane will love me saying this, but I tend to quit Pauper very often. I get mad at not being able to win. But regardless of 420 is actually one of the people who I always keep in touch because he always have like brand new ideas of Storm decks that we can make in Pauper work, even though they're not supposed to. So it's really fun to see him bringing Esper Familiar to this tournament and see how he can do. He even goes to like the challenge and even in some leagues he have gone 5-0 with this deck while nobody else seems to be playing it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure. What is your name in Magic Online? Is it the same thing as here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I probably used to see your name a bunch back when I played casually in Pauper back then. But
yeah.
Did you ever play the premiere events or anything like that?
I didn't do that well in them. I didn't ever have time to like stay in the whole tournament and wait for people for rounds. That's one of the things that I love about leagues, that you can actually play at any moment. But I definitely think that now that they bring the challenge back, it's kind of like having a fun big tournament that you can do on Sundays and try to bring a real deck and earn real points on it. Because the payout seems to be pretty good and people seem to be enjoying it. I've seen like 90 people per Sunday playing it.
I mean, I definitely miss dailies, and I miss Wizards making smart decisions, like, the redemption only being $5 and giving actual FNM promos instead of basic lands, and just being a good company.
But
Hint.
don't you agree that it's nice to try something new sometimes? No.
Yes and no. I mean, listen, I think 9 times out of 10 we can tell that whatever Wizards decides to do is going to be a bad idea right off the bat. We just accept it.
Yes, we just go by, yep, you say what you want to say and we'll do it.
Though I'd really like to not. I mean, I'd really like to not accept the fact that they're trying to ruin the FNM Warrior.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know, I gotta say too.
Do you play a lot of FNM?
I used to, but nowadays I usually just play MTGO. I don't have the money nor really the drive to play paper much anymore. It's just too expensive, and I don't really travel that much.
Yep.
You know, funny enough, where I live, you would think that there's a lot of places to play, but there really isn't.
Oh, I totally agree. And in my case, I come from a different state. So the store that I used to play, the people who I used to play every single weekend are not the same. And I live in Seattle, so everybody knows that Wizard is here and there's a bunch of stores here. And I still don't go to them. It's like, I don't know, I got used to playing Magic Online. And even though a lot of people hate it, it's kind of like, well, I can be in my house, jump on the computer at any moment and just play for it.
The thing also about, the thing about playing Paper Magic, the real appeal is, you know, you get to hang out with people in person. But I don't like people usually, so that doesn't really help out too much.
That definitely doesn't help. So I guess you would say no to Shane inviting you to stay on feeling with him.
No, I'll hang out with Shane. I think I can have a beer with Shane and have fun, or like a bottle of Jack Daniels or something. I love myself some whiskey.
You can join on Fridays, and he'll probably be drunk by the time you start drinking.
I think Shane will definitely beat me in a drinking challenge because it takes a lot for me to get intoxicated, and I just get bored half the time. You know, it's funny because going back to the FNM thing, I just thought about. I said this in Zane's stream, I think once, and I have never actually seen such a consensus on a topic in Magic before. I have never seen the entire Magic community agree on something before, because everybody seemed to agree that what Wizards is doing to the FNM scene and what is it, the Standard Showdown or something like that?
Yep.
Whatever they're doing is just wrong. Whatever, like I. Okay, so it looks like the match is ready to go, but unfortunately, 420 Dragon's hand cam is not going to work because. All right, so he said that. Oh no, wait, no, I said that my computer was crap. So,
yep.
Unfortunately, 420's computer is just not good enough to do it. But we are going to get Mikey Ruru's hand.
So Arctic predictions 2-1.
I think it's going to be 2-1 Mikey Ruru.
Mikey Ruru.
I think Mike's going to win game 1, especially because this hand is just completely broken in half. He's also on the play.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that he's probably going to win game 3.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was going to say 420 wins, but then it will have to be 2-1 towards after Cyborg, because that hand spells trouble.
Game 3 is going to be really important. I'm sorry, game 1, winning game 1 for Mike is going to be really important, because that means he gets to be on the play for game 3.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really big. What exactly is WotC messing up now? What isn't WotC messing up, man? Like, just that's a better question. Zane, what isn't WotC messing up? Bullcrap. So, I know, because you don't want to get told kids shoot Magic Online. So also, if you want to follow Z's channel, he's a great variety streamer of sorts. You can go check him out at ZMagic94 on Twitch. You can also follow him on Twitter, I believe, if you want to. What is your Twitter handle? Is it the same thing? Same
really
thing
happy
on
right
Twitter.
now.
Yeah. So, starting off with the Goblin cohort, going into a double Burning Tree Emissary, I can tell you that 420 Dragon is probably screaming his PC.
This is over now. Like,
it's pretty much over.
Much do you have? Yeah.
If he draws a third land, even if he goes turn 2 Sunscape Familiar, if he draws a third land, the game is pretty much over, because you can just make him not block. He's going to take 2 here. If he draws a
420
land,
just went for the F6 value. He's like, I'm tired of this Burning Tree Shamans. Just cycle, F6, I'm done.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, somebody posted.
Oh, we have a wall. At least something is happening.
All right, so
I'm
we have
not dead
Sunscape
next turn.
Familiar. That's a great start, but he drew the third land, so he's going to take, what is that, 11 damage?
Oh my god.
11 damage on turn 3, and that's going to be almost death on
That's
turn 4.
What can he do for next turn? He doesn't
Well,
bring
he can-
fogs or anything.
He can play. No, it's not going to do. That's not going to do anything. he can research his deck and then just concede. Yeah, a turn 3 win. For
I'll
Mikey
give you my whole
Brewer.
deck. Just get your whole deck and tell me what you want from it. I'll let you draw it and see what's gonna happen.
Oy vey. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but you can't draw it up any better from Mikey Ruru.
I'm looking at his list and it's like, yeah, the whole deck. I'll let you draw the whole deck. I don't think you can win from there.
He might bring in Flame. I mean, he's probably going to take out the Mugenic Growths. I think Flame Slash is probably better. You want the Sunscape Familiars off the board. Oh, we are. I apologize. So looking at 420's list, I apologize. 420's got 2 Dispel. I don't think you're going to see that. He's got 3 Hydroblast. You're definitely going to see 3 more Load Missionaries that you're definitely going to see. 3
Do you think
Prismatic
he'll bring the
Strands.
chart, the strands?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think he'll bring in at least 2. I think that card is very, very big at stopping the all-in combo of Goblin Bushwhacker.
But now you're saying that he'll bring 8 cards. What's he taking out?
Well, Reaping the Graves doesn't seem good. I don't think he needs 3 Ghostly Flickers. Can probably shave 1. Nightscape Familiar seems really bad.
Okay.
It's a 1/1 that's easily killed. And,
But
No,
he
I
has
don't-
to get to late game. I mean, that's the only
I
way that
don't-
he'll be able to win.
yeah, he probably takes out some numbers of Compulsive Research. I think he has to just try to naturally get there.
Wow.
I don't think there's anything else you can do. Mana War seems like poop.
Yeah.
Mana
Yeah.
War just seems poopy.
But then the Stonehorn Dignitary seems pretty good there.
Yeah, I think Stoneheart Dignitary is just better than Mana War, so you can bring those in. I think Hydroblast is just better than what is the name of that thing? Yeah,
Sure.
I think it's better than Nightscape Familiar, and I think Lone Missionaries are just better than, say, Compulsive Research. Taking a look at Mikey Ruru's deck, I think you bring in the Flame Slashes. I think you could definitely bring in the Pyroblast, and I think you have to bring in a couple Flaring Pain. You just have to assume that he's going to bring in Prismatic Strands, because if he gets caught with Prismatic Strands with a white creature on the board you can't deal with, I think the game, that could just mean the game, because it could give 420 Dragon the extra turn or 2 he needs to win the game. For those of you who maybe don't understand what 420 Dragon's deck is, you basically use Sunscape and Nightscape Familiar to make all of your blue spells cost less, and then you can use Mnemonic Wall plus Ghostly Flicker, everybody's favorite combo, to draw infinite cards with Mole Drifter, gain tons of life with Lone Missionary, or to basically win the game with Genova Horror by bouncing back all of your opponent's permanents. Also, you could technically get infinite mana with Snap and Mnemonic Wall if you have enough familiars out, but that usually...
And if you don't have Carpet Tunnel Syndrome, because you have to click a lot doing it.
Yeah.
So if we look at Mike Guru's, what do you think he'll take out? Because you're saying bring in 3, 6, 8 cards at least?
Mutagenic Growths for sure.
Definitely.
Fire Blast are probably pretty bad, as well as Reckless Abandon. Like, the burn spells just seem... Okay. Mike Guru's hand compared to Game 2 sucks. But I don't think it's mulliganable, because you can go turn 1 mana 2/2 into Burn Tree Emissary into Haste Guy, have Pyroblast and Lightning Bolt. And
risky.
We all know that he's going to draw the second land, so he might as well just keep anyway.
And just win, right there.
Yeah, he might as well just keep. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Moving Wilds first.
He kept, like I said. Okay,
no
so
land.
he has 1 more turn to draw it.
Okay.
And the big thing, did 420 mulligan?
5,
There you go.
7. Yep.
There you go. I said he would draw.
And
the
he
second.
didn't have Wolf second turn, which
No,
is
he didn't.
really nice for Mike Guru.
Are we going to see Hydroblast, though? We don't see Hydroblast. Oh, gosh.
Oh my god, this game might be over.
This
Fourth
game
turn
might
again?
already be over again. I mean, if Mikey Ruru draws a third land, he's going to be able to have Bolt and Pyroblast plus Goblin Bushwhacker. And all we see is, I'm going to fetch a land. That's all we see.
I'm done.
That's all we see right now.
Oh my god. He was so confident about this game. Maybe he knows something. No, I don't think that.
Well, there's a secret oracle that's gonna get.
Okay.
Bolted.
He has a blocker.
Well, actually, no. I think he. Oh, well, there's flame
Flame slash. Done.
Use flame slash. Attack for 6. Keep up pyroblast. This is just stupid.
Pyroblast,
Oh no,
lightning bolt.
he's gonna
What?
another dude out on the board and attack for 6. I like this actually because now next turn if he draws a third land, he can go removal spell into Goblin Bushwhacker and get in even more damage.
I guess. And if he goes land, oh, Missionary will save
Oh,
him
there's a
one turn, I
missionary.
guess.
It's gonna give him 4 life and create a blocker. Specifically
Blocker's
a blocker.
important here.
Of course he draws the third land.
Just
So there goes Seagate Oracle. I think I'd actually kill the missionary. Yeah, because the missionary
Yep.
can actually trade.
Yep.
And here comes Bushwhacker. We know that 420 Dragon hasn't had a Hydro Blast yet.
He
The question is, does he have one now? He does not. He's F6.
This is
So he's gonna-
he's
he's gonna
F6,
take
I'm
8.
done with this.
And go to 6. And be very, very, very dead.
I'm just done. F6, block 1.
Shane, you be quiet.
Can he win? I don't think so.
I don't think he can. Can he win in any possible way?
Oracle, okay.
No, I think that's pretty much GG's.
Land
he's at
Missionary,
2.
he's
I
still alive?
apologize. He's more. Yeah, that's is that a record? Is that a record win? Yeah, it was like I think that's 2 10-minute matches 2 weeks in a row.
Now I don't have to cast. Thank you.
Oh, 7 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. So that's gonna bring Mike to be 3-0, as expected, and that's gonna bring 420 Dragon to be 1 and 2. 420
Oh, sweat.
Dragon.
7 minutes.
420 Dragons getting stomped by Kung Fu
This
Trees
one's
last
for the
week,
mother.
unfortunately. Can't stop, won't stop. Wow, Mikey Roo is sounding like Littlefield from last season now. Okay, so let's tally up who is what. So Mike is 3-0 at the moment. The other
only one?
No, he's not the only one. The other 3-0 is I believe Math Guy. Am I correct on that? Anyone? Yeah. Jessica called him Mickey. That's gonna bring Kung Fu also to 2 and 1.
Yep.
I believe Shane is also 2 and 1. I don't know how that
Oh my
happened,
God.
but
How can we put
he's-
Kung Fu and Shane in the same line?
yeah, I'm
Wow.
so confused now. Jen unfortunately is 0 and 3 due to some. Yes, Littlefield, our I believe 3rd place finish from last season, also unfortunately 0 and 3. Pauper MTG starting off 2 and 1. They're starting off strong.
Yep.
Ugru is 1 and 2.
420s to 1.
And then 420 is 1 and 2 as well. I think that's
One and
everybody.
two,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we're missing one person. Oh, Lobo is also 1 and 2, right? So we have 3 2 and 1s, 3 1 2s, 2 0 and 3s, and 2 3 0s. A pretty good roundabout finish.
Pretty balanced around.
Yeah, for sure. Shane is actually not in last place.
Yeah.
God decided to shine on him today.
It's actually gonna be a race to playoffs.
Yeah.
Shane's in like 4th,
Okay.
so that's pretty crazy.
Shane is in 4th. Oh my!
I think,
God.
right? Like,
Uh,
well, he's in the top 5, so
Top
he's.
five.
I think he's in 3rd. I think his tiebreakers are better.
yeah. Well, I haven't done tiebreaker math yet, but
Oh no, he faced Jen. He's definitely not 3rd because one of the other two,
Yep,
one of the 2 ones did not face one of the 03s. Oh no, Kung Fu is probably 2-1.
yeah.
And,
Anyway,
Kung Fu's probably in 3rd.
so yeah,
Anyway,
congratulations this
so-
week. I'm not
Yes.
live. People can hear me.
yeah. Well, you can be live if you want.
No, I am. Like, people hear me.
Oh, people hear Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a voice in someone's head anymore.
So, Ice, I have to ask you as a viewer, how have you been liking the CPC so far?
Oh, I love the CPC. It's giving the opportunity to big players like Kung Fu and 420, who are not big streamers, but are pretty good at Pauper, show their skills and show everybody who they're doing. And people who have been playing this game for a while and great streamers like Chain, Z, Jen, and whatnot, have all the community bring together into one single place. It's really good for the community. Growing this community, I think it's a great thing.
We have 32 people watching, and Wizards doesn't give a crap about Pauper.
Yeah, well, it might not be bringing the thousands of standard, but we have a pretty good community here.
Yeah, I love the Pauper community.
Ukyo Tachiban. I butchered it, man. But yeah, thanks for the follow for the Community Pauper Challenge channel.
Thank you all so much for the follows. Again, BA Unicorn, thank you so much for hosting us before as well. Thank you, Jensica, for calling Mikey Ruru Mickey. That was actually kind of funny.
That was great.
And thanks to Luxikov for these amazing images.
Yes, again, everybody, follow Deluxikov. You should know who he is. He's probably one of the oldest players in Pauper next to Alex Ullman. He is also probably one of the best graphic people I've ever seen do any MTG work. You can follow him. He's also a pretty nice guy, so go ahead and follow him at Pauperganda. I believe it's the same thing on YouTube as Mikey Roo was alluding to before.
Yeah, sick burn, right?
Wait a minute. I didn't call him old.
It was a pretty good burn, I agree.
Okay, let's get politically correct. When I say oldest, I mean the
elderliest
member who's been in the community for the longest.
Just making the hole bigger.
So you mean elderliest? The most elderly.
I'm just digging my grave.
Yep.
Okay. Unfortunately, Willie, I think you did if you're here. But you can watch the VOD. I believe the VOD is going to be up, and Shane will probably get it up on the YouTube channel. As always, if you'd like to follow anybody, you can go below the stream. We have all the follows. We have Zane, Shane,
you should definitely
myself,
follow me.
Jensica.
I'm going to shamelessly plug.
You should definitely follow Zane since he feels
Zane
like
is doing a great job in the background this year. He's not talking that much outside of this, but he's actually doing a really good job on the background. Everything coordinating is not an easy thing to do. So thank you, Zane.
He also has been doing a great job with his own stream, so that is also awesome. Also, do remember, everybody, so this is the last week that you're going to see these deck lists. So these deck lists are going to be the Season 1 deck lists. Not Season 1. The Cycle 1 deck list, or whatever we're going to call it.
I like ABC.
Alright, it's going to be A deck list.
Round A.
Yeah.
Round B.
A. There you go. So for Round B, they're going to have different deck lists. Now do remember, next Monday, the deck lists are not going to be public. Everybody is going to not know what they are except for Zane and myself. And then come that Tuesday or Wednesday, all the deck lists will be up on the Weebly website for everyone to see, so that should be fun. As far as the prizes go, I know some of you don't know what the prizes are. We told everybody what the prizes are tonight. As soon as we know that they're set in stone, we will tell everybody. The other cool thing, what? Ukyo Tachiban? Is that how you say the name? Whatever. I probably butchered it.
That's the one I butchered.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're good.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to plug, Ice, while we have you here? Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Nope, I'm good for now.
Good man. Okay, so next week, this is not going to be the set in stone schedule for next week, but the matches for the first round of B is going to be Emma Lobo versus Emma Lobo versus Mikey Ruru to start off the stream next week.
Great day.
Holy crap. I expect good things from you guys. I think Shane and I are probably going to commentate that one. Shane wants some revenge on Mikey Ruru, I'm sure. And then if Jensnikov can be here, he's going to face 420 Dragon. If not, he's going to have his alternate. So that should be good. Shane versus Pauper MTG, so that should be interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to have Math Guy versus Kung Fu Trees, and then a classic Pauper Classic Tuesday special of Uluguru versus Littlefield. That is not the set schedule except for Emma Lobo and Mikey Roo. That is definitely going to be the first match. If you guys would like to compete in a free awesome Pauper tournament, you guys can go check out Pauper Classic Tuesdays on gatherling.com. I don't know if I actually have a that's the website. I don't actually know if there's a command for it that Jen has to make. So if you guys want to compete in that, does he? What is the? Is it this? PCT? No. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Jen actually made it. So you can go and check that out. Sorry. Jen also does stream it from time to time when his computer is being kind to him. As we all know, computers hate humans, so there's that.
Yep.
So it's completely free. I am the assistant admin of the site. If you have any questions, you can ask me. There's also a Reddit page that you can find a link to on the Gatherling site. It happens every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There's also other tournaments you can compete in on Gatherling.com, so you want to check that out. Also, I do write articles. If you want to read some crappy articles by me, you can go check them out at puremtgo.com.
They're not crappy.
They're pretty crappy. If you would like to see more of Shane's stream, you can go check out Shane's stream at nega_Shane. That's the Twitch. And then I don't stream yet, but I will stream in the future. Ice, when are you going to start streaming?
I used to stream like a year ago, but leaving work and going home and start streaming, it was so tiresome. I'm really surprised that Zane is actually doing it 365 days. I don't know how he'll be able to do it.
So
yeah, Zane doesn't leave his house, so that's pretty...
But it's so much work every day, having to entertain people like us that just lurk there.
I mean, clearly neither does Caleb. Caleb never leaves his house. I don't know. Did you see how Caleb had shaved half of his face, like, perfectly? Oh, man, that was funny. But yeah, is there anything else that you would like to plug before we get out of here, Zane?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Who we hosting?
Tao the Ninja.
Ooh, Tao the Ninja, alright. How do you spell his name?
T-A-O underscore
the Ninja, is that it?
Underscore
Ninja?
Ninja, yeah. With a capital T and a capital N.
So Tao the Ninja, probably somebody who's going to be invited to the qualifier round of CPC next season. I know he's popped in here a couple of times. Go check him out. He's also one of the big Pauper ringers for the big event that happens on Sunday. You know, Shane, when are you going to stream one of those? Has Shane streamed one of those yet?
No, I haven't streamed one either because I haven't actually been free on Sunday, but I've been meaning to for a while.
Maybe you should stream Green White Valley Town.
I'm probably going to be streaming this Sunday's Pauper challenge.
Holy crap.
For my day, what day is that? 14? Day 14.
Are we in 14 already?
Yeah, day 14 is this Sunday. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Shane did stream the last one. That is true. He was playing Black White Pestilence.
Oh, did he? How'd he do?
He was, last time I checked, he was 3-3. I think he left and then he quit.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I finally did my first challenge. I finally did the Commander challenge this weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the challenges.
I got burned because I bought some cards and then remembered that MTGO has its own ban list.
Yep.
Luckily, I didn't spend. I only spent like $3.
Commander deck are expensive on Moto.
Super expensive.
The deck I was playing was $700.
Oh, yeah. Screw that.
Yeah.
So the Pauper challenge is a lot more affordable if you want to try it.
Yes.
Sounds like Pauper's a lot more affordable if you want to try it.
So yeah.
I think Standard at this point is more affordable. I saw a Standard deck today that 5-0'd for the first time in how many years I don't know. Was only $90.
Yeah.
Mono red?
No, it was black green. It was a Cryptolith right deck.
There's a lot of like $150 decks in Standard right now. But I think we should host Tao the Ninja. I think he needs some love.
Yeah, I think Zane wants to go to bed. So I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Thank you, everybody. Tell your friends. Post on Reddit about us, please. I would love to make this as big as possible. If this could reach Wizards so they can send me a cease and desist notice so they can take it for themselves, that'd be great. Don't actually tell them to do that. But yeah, again, also shout outs to Randy Bueller for inspiring me to do something like this. That dude is awesome, getting the Vintage Super League started. So I just wanted to say that. So again, thank you guys. Thank all of you. I'll see you next week with Zane and Ice and everybody else. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, it work?
I don't know. Did it? Yeah, it did.
Hopefully.